Poor My Devil says, how much to do cocaine shirtless on a live stream? Well, I don't do cocaine, buddy, so that will not ever happen. Unfortunately, I certainly cannot live stream a felony because I would lose my law license.
Don't do cocaine. So much urine. Anime sucks. Cope and Steve, why would you do this? Why now? Why is my camera so on?
Nick has been arrested. So has his wife, Kayla.
He was doing great, and now all those people are pointing and laughing at this guy that's being arrested.
Rackets is in fucking jail, and Mrs. Rackets in April.
Rekieta was arrested Thursday along with his wife and a fellow online personality.
But now, Mr. Rekieta finds himself in the spotlight for not a great reason. No, he and his wife, Kayla, were arrested and charged with felony second-degree drug possession, as well as 2 misdemeanors of child endangerment and firearms possession.
Mr. Rekieta, you are self-representing yourself at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Count 1 is second-degree possession, 25 grams or more of cocaine or methamphetamine. The maximum sentence for that count is 25 years in prison.
And then today, just today, Useful Mistake got a copy of the search warrant.
May 16th, Kennewick County Sheriff Sergeant David Nestor received a report indicated 4 people from the church had gone to him reporting neglect of the children. They also talked about possible controlled substance use and a questionable relationship with an additional couple.
It was reported from a church preschool teacher that the children had complained of being hungry, not being fed, and wearing the same clothes for 3 to 4 days at a time and would start to smell. Holy shit.
Nick's appearance, and this is, if you guys have been on the forums, you know what I'm talking about. You can do the month-by-month progression of Nick. Yeah, it's a big change. He's lost a lot of weight. He appears tired, strung out, and that's common with drug users. For so long.
And everybody who's watching Nick's stream was saying the same thing. He looks like he's using drugs. He's strung out.
He appears in the video to be drinking alcoholic beverages and eventually appears under the influence of a substance or substances. When he returns at 2 hours and 50 minutes in, he appears to be making an excited look and has white powdery substances on his nose. Affidavit also noted that throughout this video, Nicholas is so under the influence of a substance that he at one point has to close his eyes to read his screen, rambles, and slurs his speech. Nicholas would obviously not be able to care for his children in this state of intoxication. Being both excited and nearly passing out, this is a consistent behavior of both CNS stimulants and depressants.
And therefore, he is now commanded and authorized search the premises and persons for the above described things and have it seized and analyzed by a forensic laboratory, signed by Judge Fisher.
Jennifer Fisher, Chief Judge of Wilmer, Minnesota, Candido County, is touched probably by retardation. Because like any boring, stereotypical woman, I said you were wrong, but you weren't wrong. I just really love the taste of liquor being squeezed out of my vagina, and then they drink it. Most of the judges in Candido County are men. How are they going to squeeze vagina liquor into my mouth? I don't want them to.
This is not that bad. This is a pretty good warrant.
Nick's only hope here, because they found the drugs, is to get the warrant kicked out.
My feelings today are one of being disheartened. Nick, first of all, Nick's in a lot of legal trouble. The search warrant appears to be unattackable. I am disheartened by my friend. This man who I knew, or at least thought I knew, has gone so deeply down. But my understanding from Andrew is that he's in a thread, a DM thread, in which Nick is apparently privately coping.
Nick is flipping out right now in private. And he is, I'm watching some DMs right now. He's going fucking nuts. Nick is going nuts. And I would expect that Nick may make some statements which you probably shouldn't make. Dude, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. Nick just literally, he said, I'm not saying anything else. Talk to me in DMs. And then he drops fucking 3 group messages after that, stating facts that can be used against him in court. This guy is retarded. This guy is retarded. Nick is so fucked if he keeps this shit up.
We have the report from when the police did the raid. So the actual police report and the police report of the entire situation. Looking at it, guys, it's not good. I mean, some of you might be thinking out there, oh, well, it could get better. No, it gets a lot worse. It gets a lot worse. He was advised by the detective to stop a motor vehicle, and the person of interest was Nick Rekieta. Nick was advised that the warrant was signed by a judge. His response was, "That doesn't mean shit." Well, a signed warrant means a lot of shit, Nick. That actually means quite a bit.
And we started knocking on the door to the south side of the residence, and were able to gain a response from a young female juvenile from within the residence who advised her that her dad advised her not to open the door for strangers. Smart move.
Smart move, yeah, very smart.
When I overheard radio communication from Sergeant Nestor advising Nicholas was not going to give us the code to open the door. Detective Nick Adderoff, utilizing RAM, opened the door, causing minimal damage to the door. If anything, they waited way longer than they had to, and drugs are involved. With a drug warrant, you knock once, and then you break down the door pretty fast.
We continued clearing the residence and were able to have the residence secured. The residence was extremely cluttered. There were clothes everywhere, dirty dishes, dust, and an overall dirty home. I overheard Nick Rekieta arguing with Chief Deputy Bauman in front of the house, demanding he receive a copy of the search warrant. I handed him a copy of. I saw him look at it and eventually throw it on the ground.
We started searching the master bedroom, where almost immediately the detective located a snort tube and a black vial on top of 2 credit cards. This is actually quite disturbing to me, because if it's so easy to find, that means that the kids could have wandered in there and found it very quickly as well.
It gets a lot worse.
I continued searching the residence as we located an additional juvenile female in the basement bedroom who was apparently sleeping. I advised her to walk out the room with me to her mum, which she agreed to do. She held my hand as we walked outside. Just the visual image of that is really depressing. Regardless of anything that happened, Nick's actions have caused this situation to occur. These children will always remember the day that the police came, arrested mummy and daddy, and took them away. That's something they will never forget. And that's because he failed in his duties as a father. His lifestyle, indulging in pleasure and hedonism, when you have a responsibility, caused this to happen. And there's no one else's fault. It's not Kiwi Farm's fault. It's not Aaron's fault. It's not the drugs' fault. It's not the whiskey's fault. It's his decisions that did this.
It gets a lot worse.
While assisting and keeping the 4 children occupied outside the residence, the youngest child wanted new clothes as she made reference to the fact that she had been wearing these clothes for more than a day. Imagine that if a little girl is actually saying to the policeman that are arresting her father, mother, and mistress, "Hey, can I get some clean clothes? I don't want to stink when we go out of the house." It's just heartbreaking. But let's try and start with something a little bit lighter than that, shall we?
It gets a lot worse. So he went to go speak with Nick. I advised Nick of his Miranda warning. Remember, this is the detective still. He agreed to speak with me and waived his right to counsel. He may not answer certain questions. How about you not answer any questions?
Not talking to the cops is the best way to protect yourself.
During the conversation, he advised he sleeps in the bedroom with his wife, Camelot. You just incriminated your wife. Good job. So at the jail, they asked to speak to Nick. He said he was willing to do so. They read his Miranda warning again. He agreed to speak with us and waived his right to counsel, like a dumb fuck.
Well, I gave a statement willingly because I wanted to call the cop a pussy a whole bunch.
He said he sleeps in the residence and stays in the master bedroom, and that's where him and Caleb sleep. Once again, you throw your wife under the fucking bus again.
Me, my wife, and my girlfriend.
Solid move, Nick. Solid move. He said April's just a friend and was visiting.
She was my girlfriend at the time. We're broken up now. It sucks, man. I love her. She's cool.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Following items were found in the master bedroom. A bunch of tablets for ketamine, an AR-15 with a bunch of mags, snort tube positive for cocaine, black vial positive for cocaine, a glass container filled with metal filter and grinder positive for cocaine, a large corner cut baggie with white powder positive for cocaine, 3 small baggies positive for cocaine, a scale positive for cocaine, a metal pan positive for cocaine, a bunch of tubes and cutter positive for cocaine scooper. So the total amount of cocaine was 26.67 grams. It gets a lot worse.
Oh boy, do we have a terrible story for you today.
Our boy, Nicholas Robert Rekieta, announced to the world that he intended to start streaming again on Rumble. He gave a time and date. He said it would be a relaxed, casual stream talking about law stuff, and not his case. 1 hour before that happened, this post was made. MN Public Record says, interesting new matter of public record attached. Would anyone care to ask Nick's most ardent defenders why it was okay for a 9-year-old to test positive for cocaine? After being placed out of the home, the children were subject to hair follicle drug testing. All of the children, except for his 9-year-old daughter, who she turned 9 on the day that he was arrested, tested negative. She tested positive for cocaine at a level of 5,000 over 500.
9-year-old child tested positive for coke. at over 10 times the level they were checking for. Mrs. Sweet went to the family home while search was ongoing. At that time, she learned that the home was very cluttered. It was difficult to walk on the home without stepping on clothing, bedding, and blankets. Mr. and Mrs. Rekieta each submitted to a hair follicle drug test on May 30th. However, County Health Services has not received the results of those tests because subsequent to taking those tests, Mr. and Mrs. Rekieta revoked their release of information.
Anyone who suggests that I ever have refused an ordered drug test from the government is incorrect. I've complied with every ordered drug test from the government.
Mr. and Mrs. Rekieta revoked their release of information. The children are in surroundings or conditions that endanger the children's health, safety, or welfare.
The children are also not victims. What they found in the family law case, there wasn't any endangerment. The children were never in danger.
Continued custody of the children by the parents is contrary to the welfare of the children.
That everyone should be certified as CPS. It's a scourge on the American people, and the more people know about it, the better. Sure. The problem is people like Nick are why CPS was invented in the first place. So yes, CPS does a lot of nasty shit, but for people like Nick, that's what they're meant for. Nick wasn't a nice boy who didn't do nothing wrong.
I'm not here to apologize to you or for anything. I am under the thumb of government. Come out, apologize, bow down, bow, beg, tell everybody that you're sorry. For what? What am I sorry for?
I feel so disheartened. And then to see what happened to his kids.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be sorry for.
He violated his obligations to himself. He violated his obligations, more importantly, to his kids. And nobody can own that but Nick. And he must own it if he hopes to achieve any kind of redemption here.
I thought drugs were awesome. I still do. That's why people do them. Drugs are awesome. People wouldn't do them if they weren't. They're illegal. And that legality has really fucking dangerous consequences. So,
in my experience, redemption in these kinds of situations is generally unlikely.
When the state is ready to, they will lie about you. So one side gets to say whatever they want, and they can lie. This is a fact. They can fabricate details. You know what's interesting is that you may not know what's in your house. You may not know what cops bring into your house either. That line that the government put in their complaint was a lie. Every time he said that was Josh lying. Maybe it's because cops lie a lot of the time. But Alicia Sweet did lie under oath. Because you're about to hear a lie from Miss Pierce. The state worker tried to lie to us. You lied under oath and you know it. And it involves a government agent lying to the court. They will lie. Lying, lie. You lie. Lying is a lying grifter. This is a fact. Government will be dealt with in course. His charges will be dealt with in course.
Nick has entered his plea to plead guilty to felony charges.
He will plead guilty to the amended charge of possession in the third degree. A statutory stay of adjudication pursuant to Minnesota statutes. The remaining terms of the sentence at the court's discretion. The state drops all other charges. And then the state's dismissing the case against Kayla and the case against April.
People do drugs because drugs are awesome. And the awesomeness of them outweighs the risk. I thought drugs were awesome. I still do. That's why people do them. Drugs are awesome.
How is it going, guys? It's been over a month since we've talked about Nick, and I was very sad that this video came out, but it came out just after we finished the majority of the Nick coverage. So I felt very bad that I never really got a chance to show it, and that was, of course, by the fantastic Third World Aristocrat on YouTube. Actually, no, it was 2 months ago. We haven't really talked about Nick in 2 months, basically. It's been a long time. Now, the question remains, where's Baldo? We're playing Where's Baldo tonight. Well, Nick is super busy. He can't stream because he's sad and busy, but he's not so sad and not so busy that he can't spend 4 hours a day watching a certain young person enthusiast live stream and also pay them money to call in because he's so desperate to talk about Steel Toe Aaron that he doesn't care who, even if he has to pay people. I mean, I guess it's cheaper than a therapist, but the results are probably going to be much, much worse. But I believe that I heard he's going to stream tomorrow. For real. He's coming back. So the Nick coverage might be back on as well. Basically, he's been spending the last 2 months having incoherent rants, and telling the wildest stories. Also, there's some changes to StreamYard today, which is really annoying. I don't like it. That I have to just go through, because basically I have a folder where I put all my next stuff, but then I want to wait for like a big thing. I don't want to talk about them all the time. I don't want to talk about them every day. So I try and wait till there's like a big event, like, you know, like a new docs drop or something like that. But I have too much shit. I have look at all these fucking tabs. I have so many tabs. So I decided that we had to get through this now and clear it all out. And as I mentioned, there is also a special goal tonight. So I wanted to start doing some more interesting goals. And we have a mega goal tonight. A mega goal. If we hit the goal tonight, I will reveal all the money that I have made grifting / reporting on this entire situation. I spent the last 20 minutes making a new PowerPoint presentation. I went through every stream. I looked at all the memberships. I looked at all the super chats. I looked at all the ad revenue. I put into a nice little presentation, but in true grifting fashion, I can only reveal it if we hit the gold chat. So we'll see. I'll add that in, we'll include that in the end as a bonus. I know some people want to see that, and I do want to show it too. I really do want to show it because I think it's got a lot of fun. But I understand that there is some danger in doing so as well, because if you show people how much you make, and it might be fun, like, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the chat. Like, how much do you think I made? Maybe I'll tell you close. Maybe I'll tell you more. Maybe I'll tell you less. I will say that I haven't made the most of all the people I looked at. I haven't made the most. I haven't made the least. There are people that have been A-logging Nick that have made more. And there are people that have been Baldo washing Nick that have made more. But I did pretty well for my boy. Your boy didn't do too bad, is all I'll say for now. Yes, I also have another grift in that the ceiling cats are being held hostage until 100 likes on this stream. Wait, how many do? Oh, 111. Okay, I'll release the ceiling cats. Okay, we hit the first goal, chat. We hit the goal. I have to find them though. I haven't used them in a while. Here we go. The cats are back. There we go. We got the ceiling cats. Everyone's happy now. Everyone is happy now. All right. So in no particular order, we'll go through all of the stuff that I have. Although I'll try and do some recent stuff today because it was your boy, what's his name? Camelot. Or as some people, I'm not sure here, or as some people refer to him now, cross-dress a lot, because apparently about 2 years ago or something, there's a bunch of Camelot pictures on his Instagram where he's just like straight up cross-dressing, but that's cool. He's just having fun. I don't think he's actually into that. It's just like a joke. It's just a joke. It's just a funny joke. It's just a funny joke. Okay. So I think that's just funny that no one really noticed that. That was just something they like kind of slipped under the rug. But it was his birthday today. So happy birthday. And he did a stream with, it looks like, this Cecil, right? Cecil, that's that OnlyFans girl, and Nick. He showed up, and we'll kind of go for like, we'll jump around a bit, but we'll go from like recent to older, and we'll kind of explain where he's been and what he's been doing. So there's an interesting question here. An interesting question first. So it says, this is a quick, nice 30-second clip. Now, I did watch part of this stream, but I did have shit to do. But I did make a mistake today. I left my house, got on the train, and then I realized I forgot my keys. So I had to go back and fucking get them. So I wasted about an hour today. That's why the stream was late, actually. Not just all this dicking around at my house. But anyway, quick 30-second clip. Let's see what happens. This is called Nick Rekieta Can't Get a Hold of Drexel, March 5th.
Hugo Dano says, happy birthday. Nick, did you ever get a hold of Drex? Thank you, Hugo.
Oh, wait a minute. Is everything? Let me know if the audio is working as well.
No, Drex is mad about something and hasn't actually told me what it is.
Can anyone guess? What do you think Drexel could be mad about? What could he possibly be mad about? Now, as anyone that's probably watched Nick's show for a long time, and as most fans who obviously kind of stopped watching, oops, I almost knocked my water off my table, would know, Drexel talked a lot about his relationship with the Rekietas, and I very clearly remember him saying that the only photos he has in his house of people is his daughter and Nick's kids. So when this all came out, Drexel just cut off all ties with him. He stopped talking to him entirely. And Nick is just like flabbergasted. I don't know what it could be. How could Drexel stop talking to me? I just don't understand. He's being unreasonable. But we'll continue this. It's only 20 seconds more.
So I like, and God, there's so, I hate taking up streams with this story. I'll briefly say this. I would love to talk to Drex because he completely misunderstands something and is mad about it, but he won't tell me what it is.
What could it be? What could it be?
And I think it's really a shame, but eventually I'll talk to him.
All right, chat. If you had a friend that you've somehow aggrieved and you don't know how to contact them, what would you do? You have option A, which is call them. You call them. If they don't answer, you leave them a message. If they don't respond to your message, I mean, what can you do? You have to wait. You have to be polite and wait, and they'll respond to you. That's option 1. Option 2, you could reach out through a mutual friend. Surely you have mutual friends. You have, a buddy's, your wife, maybe his father. I know Nick knows the Drexel's family. You could contact them and say, like, look, I want to get in contact with him. He's not responding to my messages. Could you just let him know that I want to explain the situation to him? Or option 3, you could respond to Drexel on his Twitter with Greta thirst posts. So Drexel posted, sorry, y'all, smash or pass on BBW Greta. Rekietalaw responds, you would appreciate them big girl mitts. Yeah, this is the normal way that you reestablish friendships with people, is you respond to their, when you realize that they're not responding to your phone calls, you start leaving and they're leaving on red. You just start responding to their Twitter posts, and hopefully that one day they'll come back. That's the game. That's the game. So that's our first little spicy little clip. I do thank Alyssa for this clip because the whole stream was really long and she clipped out the good parts. And there's a whole body. There's a lot of clips that we have to go through. So I've watched quite a few of them. We'll come back to these ones later. And we'll try it. Let's see. But first of all, Arseholes React with a 5. He says, show me the money, the first. Getting us one step closer to the goal and revealing how much money I grifted off the whole situation. Also, Brandon Needs Rice and Beans, member for 3 months, says he's building bridges. That's true. Very good of him. Thank you very much. I don't know why that member chat didn't show up in my thing. All right, this one is called The Real Reason Nick Rekieta's pastor reported him to the police. This is all the fresh stuff. This is all the good stuff. When we get to the Melton stuff, that's when things get really weird. And I actually learned something from these, is that I didn't know there was 2 hedonism trips. Did you guys know this? Because one trip was during wife swapping week. When was the other trip for? He missed going to hedonism not once but twice, which actually surprised me. All right, this is called The Real Reason that Nick's pastor reported him. Let's have a look.
The funny thing was, like, people. So the initial stories that were in the search warrant, they're. People think they're from our church congregation. They're not. They use that as a cover to, like, keep the people anonymous. And
so it's all a church conspiracy. Interesting. Are we gonna be able to see these? Now, all this information may be revealed at Nick's sentencing. Some people have been asking, has the body cam been suppressed? Has all the things been sealed? We don't know. We don't know until he's actually sentenced, which I think it's in March it's March now. I think it's in May. So we might have to wait another 2 months to actually see some of these details come out. But I know a lot of people are very curious about that. And also, Billy Oakey with another 5. He says, balls in the chat. Thank you very much. Bring us one step closer to the reveal.
Eventually, like, talk about who all of it was. But wait,
so sorry. I want to go back there. So Nick says he's going to a reveal. It seems like a great idea to reveal the people that have been coming after you.
Anonymous. And I'll eventually, like, talk about who all of it was. But what they did was they had no idea about drugs at all. None of them did.
Because nobody could tell. Nobody in church has ever done any drugs, and there's no way they could tell while you were broadcasting your habit to hundreds of thousands of people on, like, weekly. Like, I think even now, Nick hasn't streamed. Do you know he's done 1 stream in the last 6 months? In the last 6 months, he's done 1 stream, but he still has, like, a passive view, like every channel does to a certain degree. And that passive degree over the last 6 months has been about 300,000. I was checking it out earlier when I was doing my research. And, that's not a small amount. It's not a lot for someone who has 400,000 subscribers, but it's not an insignificant amount. And, like, I think weekly he was probably getting, like, millions of impressions and things. So yeah, it wasn't like a giant shock. It wasn't a giant shock. Arsehole Reacts with a 5 says, meme sniffs Max Mura's tighty whities. That's not true because Max Mura goes commando. He told me so. And Max Mura in the chat there says, Dr. Max, Nick Rekieta, shortened to Nicholas R., Latest STD is B in LGBT factor. Thank you very much for those disgusting chats. All right, let's continue.
They saw us hanging around with Aaron and April, and they got like, they didn't like the idea that there was a relationship going on. They didn't know anything about it, but they're like, oh, this is inappropriate.
Well, it was inappropriate. It absolutely was inappropriate. That's a fact. But so this is the new theory. This is the new cope. The church people were jealous he had a new friend. The churchgoers, or these mysterious people labeled as churchgoers, saw that he was hanging out with April. They didn't know about the drugs, and they didn't know about the wife swapping and the cuckoldry, but they decided they had to report it to the police. This makes perfect sense. It's just an average, typical Wednesday church conspiracy. Oh my goodness. And Ben there done that says, the question, did meme pay taxes on these social earnings? Look, anything's possible in Trump's America, but Trump promised he would make all tips tax-free, even though I'm not an American, nor do I live in America. But that is a very good question. The answer might not be very good. Just kidding. The Dragon's Treasure says, my vids made $500. More in sales. Would have made more if he didn't spiral to begin with. Use code COPE to make up for it. Yes, that's true. That's another grift we've forgotten about. The Dragon's Treasure. Actually, I don't know if it's a 10% off anymore. Maybe the Dragon's Treasure confirmed, but you could use code COPE on the Dragon's Treasure, a haven for anime and tea lovers. I can tell you that I made more than the Dragon's Treasure, at least on the video side of it. I'm not sure about on the tea side. I, with a £5, says, teal like Nick's soy wedding ring. Yes, he's got that. The man that hasn't seen a gym in the better part of a decade wears a latex rubber ring because he doesn't want to hurt his fingers. And then we get those cats back. There we go. All right, let's continue. This might be a long stream.
They went and they took real events that happened and then stretched the stories out and added stuff. But you could tell, like, they're all nerds.
The only thing getting stretched out was your wife's vagina with the big toe. Then, like, I don't know if I have the clips in because I've been paying attention and I've been recording stuff, but I'm not sure I've got everything because some things are just rambling. It takes, like, we'd never be able to get through all the content. It would just take forever. At one point, Nick has been describing Aaron's cock, which is a weird thing to do. He's describing it as a kickstand, which again is very strange. I'm not sure. Oh, we've got a comment from Nick, and he's a member of Nobody Likes Onions chat. It says, I am gay. Oh my God. How hard do I have to say it? I mean, this one is just true. He's finally admitted it. So I kind of appreciate that he's come out and actually said that. But he spends a lot of time, like at least an hour a day, talking about Aaron's cock, which is very strange. He claims that Aaron's is smaller than his, but that also that Aaron hasn't seen his and they weren't all naked together. But then he's got all of these stories. Like the stories are disgusting and strange. At one point, like Aaron comes in and like is holding April's hand while Nick is boning her, and then like Nick, the way he describes the story sounds like he's never actually even had sex before, which is bizarre because he's got 5 kids allegedly, right? But he like, I kid you not, in one of these stories, he's like, oh, April had never been satisfied by a man, but I was fucking her for 3 hours. He literally says for 3 hours, and that her pussy was bleeding. And he's like, that's how much of a sex. That's not being a sex god. That's being so desensitized from coke that you can't feel anything, and that's just chafing and rubbing and like. I mean, you did destroy it, I guess, but not in the good way. That's not good. That's not good. It's like it sounds like you know, like her tits were like a bag of sand. You know, that's what it felt like. It's a weird thing to say. But 3 hours, no, that's just stop it. That's just coked up deranged talk. BobTube, member 3 months, says, I was abusing kids, I was doing coke and orgies. Well, that's what Nick was doing. Yeah. All right, let's see what he says.
Because they're like, oh yeah, he was doing something and then got lethargic. I'm like, that's not cocaine at all. Like, you don't know. I live my life.
That's not the stories, actually. The story, and this was kind of verified by the church's own live stream because they did like a background live stream where you can actually see Nick and his family go through it. I think they removed it now, of course, but after the internet tension. So Nick, the story was that Nick was getting lethargic in church, and then he would go outside and come back and be energetic. So Nick's got the story backwards, but it's easy to understand because he does have holes in his brain.
Lethargic.
Nick's like
barely conscious.
churchgoers. They're a bunch of squares.
No, not the church. That's the thing. Many of the people who reported us, many of them, there's like 4. They weren't from our church at all. But they said that that they were church congregants to obscure their identities, but their identities are revealed in all the recorded interviews. So
Interesting. Is that going to be made in like, who are these people? Now, there have been some rumors that it's from within the Rekieta camp in itself, and Kayla's family members, perhaps. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I know who it was. I know who said everything.
He knows.
And it's all interesting because the way it gets presented to the public is different than what happened. And so for a while, like, it was really hard to go into that church because we thought everybody there was judging us.
Well, they were. Now, a lot of Christianity is about forgiveness, but make no mistake, they were judging you. Yes, when Father of Five, you know, charading around as a trad dad gets arrested for being with another woman. Oh, not, well, that's not what he was arrested for, but, you know, he was arrested with another woman, wife swapping, all sorts of deranged trips to hedonism, and then the 25 grams of coke. Yeah, people are going to judge you for that, as they should. Shame is sometimes a very good motivator. In fact, Nick believes this himself, as he does like to use shame to motivate people to lose weight. And I'm not sure, like, I'm pretty sure it's in the Nobody Likes Onion clips, but Nick talks about his own body dysmorphia. He literally has manorexia. Like, the chat made like the Chunkator memes about him, and it actually hit him. Like, he's like, you know how you're not supposed to let the internet know what affects you? Nick got a little bit chubby for being a dad. Like, you know, he got like a spare tire for being a dad. You know, nothing to be ashamed of. It happens to everybody when they get older. And he's an old man now, right? He's well into his 40s or something. I can't tell. But he literally got so shamed by the internet that they didn't trick him, but he tricked himself into eating 200 grams of, 200 calories of crackers a day so he could fill the rest of it up with whiskey on his own show. That's an eating disorder. That's alcoholism. Like, he says, I was never an alcoholic. No, if you change your habits to suit the drinking, that's alcoholic. All right, anyway. The Chunkator actually broke him. Like, whoever came up with that Chunkator meme actually destroyed this man's entire self-image. And there were some other clips that I saw, which, again, I might not have all of them that are referenced. He, in one of his, like, I think, private local streams, one of his kids comes up, and I believe it's his two daughters are fighting, and one of them is crying because their daughter called her fat. And then you can hear Nick say, like, well, at least she's going to lose some weight now. That's some good parenting right there. I mean, children imitate their parents. So if you go around just harassing every fat person you can, I wouldn't be surprised when the kids start doing that to each other. So that's some good old fashioned parenting.
There was super nice. It's like,
it was all a ruse.
It's all a ruse.
It was
all a ruse.
A small group of people from our personal lives who didn't approve of something they weren't even sure was going on. They're like, we have to get the children up, but they had no idea about the drugs. That was all a surprise. It's like, wait, so what'd you report us for? You reported us for sinning? Like, I'm doing that right now.
What do you mean by that? Wait, what do you mean by that? Anyway, that was, I think that's the clips from I think that's the clips from the thing. Now, there's been a lot of Twitter rambling. You can see Nick is too busy to stream, not too busy to spend literally all day in Melton's chat arguing with nobodies, or trying to make friends with random people that like to make sexualized comments about Aaron's children, which is very strange, very, very strange. I'm not going to go through and read all of these because it would take all night. But this is just one day. This is just one day of the stuff that I've been checking out. It's actually crazy. I think in this particular chat, he's talking about how he's not behind the revenge images lawsuit, and he would never coerce Kayla to do anything and to bring these charges, but it's her lawsuit. It says Kayla is fully in charge of this. I would never force her to do something public. In a certain place, he also commented that he implied that Aaron obtained the images of Kayla, which he then allegedly sent to Gino through illicit means, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because Aaron didn't take those photos as far as we know, and as far as Nick has implied. So that means the photos either came from April, Kayla, or Nick himself. And I think the most likely answer is that it was Nick. So Nick sent the photos to Aaron, and now they're mad that he should send them to somebody else. But I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have sent them if he did indeed do that. I do have one of these ones highlighted up, though, that is a great piece of advice. Ketamine is an amazing substance. I was foolish enough to use it recreationally. It is legally obtainable with a prescription and is amazing therapeutic aid with proper medical supervision. So he's already deep in the ketamine. He misses it. He misses it. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, this happened while we weren't talking about him, but he did a happy Valentine's Day post. And this is for all those 5K bros in the chat. So happy Valentine's Day. Hey guys, couple of days late, but I've been spending the weekend with the family. I doubt that, but okay. I just received one of my main components for my return to the start making and shipping the 5K gift. So he couldn't find anyone to work with. He's so insufferable that everyone won't even take money to make his whatever the 5K local gift is. And at this point, I think it's stickers or something. He's either got a 3D printer or a sticker printing machine. Or a sewing machine, I guess. Maybe you could make little pop-ups or something. A little rekietalaw tiny hats. You know what I mean? So that's fun. It has been interesting in some ways being relatively quiet for so long. The amount of insanity and discount of reality from people is amazing. Yes, we're all the crazy people, unfortunately. You know, we're looking at him saying these things, but we're the crazy ones. Okay. Currently, there's a crop of people, including a fat law tuber. So even on Valentine's Day, potentially Sean is living rent-free in this man's brain. I mean, there is a lot of space there because it's mostly full of air these days. Who seems to believe that I have some sort of influence over the state v. Imholt, or that Lady R's lawyer is pushing something or talking to witnesses. Well, Nick himself has been talking about how he's been narking and calling up the cops every time Aaron does anything. So he's trying to influence it. Yes, it is. Yes, he is. This is outright false. Our lawyers have not contacted the Viscontes, and they are not representing us in State v. Imholt. Is it Imholt? I've forgotten. It's been so long I've forgotten. Is it Imholt? It's Imholt, right? Imholt. Any thought to those ends are a product of Gino and Keanu barely being coherent about their own reality. So Keanu and Gino, of course, Gino was the one that received the picture of the Citizen Kane titties, Rosebud. They've been talking about how they're not going up to Minnesota, but they did receive a court order to go up there. So if Gino doesn't testify, the case is basically going nowhere. It'll be interesting to see, but they seem like they're really adamant about not going. Nick is very convinced they are going, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. As for the fat law tuber, marveling at why the state is taking this case far beyond the idea of where they should, it is possible that the prosecutor is prosecuting the case and that their determination of reasonableness is different from yours. It has nothing to do with me, but your opinion of it might be blinding your assessments. No, Sean is probably the most reliable source for any of the legal takes that I've seen about Nick's case. Like, you don't come for me for the legal stuff, okay? I kind of report the fun stuff, the silly stuff. We have a bit of a laugh, which is funny because it started as such a sad. Like the first stream, I went back and had a look at it because I was doing it for my tallying of all the grifting and everything. The grift audits is what I was calling it. And the first one, I was really sad. I was like, how could this happen? This has to be a mistake. Hopefully, this is all wrong. And then it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, which is really why I think that clip that we played at the beginning of the stream, Third World Aristocrats one, is really shows that actually. Like you can see how it gets worse over time. But no, you come for me for kind of like the kind of lighthearted takes. I think Sean's got the most legally accurate takes. And then you've got like other people, like Legal Mindset does like a bit of he like checks in every couple of months sort of thing. But he's mostly doing the VTuber stuff now. A bit sus, isn't it? No, just kidding. And he's doing the Johnny Somali tonight, I think. No, the Johnny Somali case is tomorrow. There'll be a report tomorrow night on Johnny Somali. So you can check in for that. Unfortunately, Nick is not even worth his time, I guess, these days. So anyway, as I was saying, as for the fat law tuber, it has nothing to do with me. That said, apologies for things still taking this long. There have been multiple legal matters in various limbo stages. And at the end of the day, my life was laid on display at the climax of some extremely tumultuous time. The ripples from everything going on, combined with the massive legal trouble, combined with insane falsehoods. Well, I mean, what are the falsehoods? Being taken as truth. I mean, all the rumors turned out to be true. Is there any rumor that didn't pan out? I don't think so. I think everything was basically bang on the money. The cuckoldry was exposed. The wife swapping was exposed. The hedonism was exposed. The drug use was exposed. Everything was exposed. And your children seem to have been exposed to them as well. Combined with private aspects of life being laid out by weak and vindictive people, has had a mild impact, to say the least. The fallout is messy and ugly, and mostly not for public consumption. Well, you shouldn't have made it public. This is the thing. He complains about this a lot. So I'll zoom in on this for a second. Public consumption. It's mostly not for public consumption. How dare you? Nick said himself he wanted people to know about this. When he went to hedonism, he streamed from the place. He talked about the places he was going. He's saying as Jamaica. He'd been talking about hedonism recently. And then after he was caught, he literally said, I don't want to tell my parents about this, but I left enough clues so that the chat could figure it out. He knew who he was dealing with because he was a big fan of the Kiwi Farms until they started reporting on his debauchery. And he literally said, I wanted you guys to know about how cool I was going to hedonism. So not for public consumption, you don't get to just put it back in the bottle after you're unsatisfied that people don't like the taste. Let me see. The primary reason I haven't fully returned to streaming is uncertainty over my mental state at stream time. So he's sad. He's big sad. I am not intent on bringing a show boring everyone with personal updates on my mood, outlook, or schedule, or frustrations. I do intend to deliver a show that is lightheartedly cynical look at the law, government, and culture. I am working on being able to consistently deliver that, and I no longer have a substance crutch to convince myself to start doing it. So he could only stream before because he had alcohol as a crutch. Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. Sorry. I can't remember where I saved this one for, but it was in my folder. So we got a bit of a meme here. We got Nick sitting at the party. Kayla is an amazing woman and this is a super chat he sent to Melton. That's right. Kayla is an amazing woman and a wonderful mother. She is my partner in all things, and we have a ridiculous relationship. Well, I agree. This part is true. They do have a ridiculous relationship. Sculpted by me and tempered by her prudence. We are always together. And then you have Aaron dancing. That's good to know, Nick. Now watch me ridiculously clap Kayla's cheeks. How do you come off with, like, how do you make this statement? He paid $20 to say that his wife, his relationship was tempered by her prudence. Oh my goodness. There's another win for the toe, I guess. He can't keep getting away with it, chat. He can't keep getting away with it. And it's funny because people think that I think that Aaron's like an amazing person or something. I don't. All I know about Aaron is from court filings, and in those he seems awful. But because I'm critical of Nick, people think that I have to be pro-toe. Anyway, let's get into these ones are long. Holy shit. Where do we even begin? All right, you know what? Let's do we want to go into a clip? I'll let the chat decide. Do you want to go into a clip, or do you want to go into like something silly and offbeat? I got a couple of silly and offbeat things. I'm going to try and go around them like that. Also, you should be liking the stream if you haven't, because we're only at how many likes? 200 likes. Something silly. Okay. So before we get into the clips, do you guys remember when he was arrested? There was a .22 casing that was found in his bedroom. Do you guys remember that? It was actually revealed what that was. So he couldn't reveal what the mysterious artwork known as the 22 was when he was arrested. I believe it is. Hold on. Why isn't this? Hold on. Give me a second. I think it's this one. Okay. Yeah. It was planted by the cops? No. All right. So. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm not showing my screen. Good. All right. I didn't quite think. So, while you're dropping receipts, since they dropped the charge at this point, think we can see that art piece? Because that one is really going to make the autism heads explode when they realize you weren't blasting 22s in the ceiling like Yosemite Sam. So there was a 22 gun casing shell found in Nick's bedroom along with weapons, not 22s obviously, and all the drugs. And initially there was a theory that he might be making brown, which is when you mix like gunpowder with cocaine or something. But Nick said it was from a framed piece of artwork that used 22 casings in the design, and it was called the 22. But he couldn't show this because it was part of the evidence. Now he revealed the artwork. Let's take a look. This is allegedly the 22. So you can see, look at that. It's a little, I actually do think these look kind of cool. So you've got these bullets that have impacted on something and blossomed out like flowers. And you've got like little cartridges in the 22 casings in there. And it says, wanna bang. Wanna bang. This is not artwork. This is a knick-knack by Bullet Boutiques. Wanna bang? It's a $50 stocking stuffer. Oh no, the autism heads are exploding. No. Holy shit. Now, I'm not actually sure if this is the actual artwork. I think this might be a cope as well, because I does anyone else remember this? I remember him saying it was a framed piece of artwork. This is not a framed piece of artwork. So this is allegedly when Alicia Sweep came to his house, and he asked, she wanted to go into the master bedroom, and Nick pushed her out. And he's like, no, I'll just go get the art piece. This is what he showed her. So this means that when the government worker was in his house, and he said, do you want to see a piece of artwork? And she's like, sure. He goes into his bedroom and brings out this little thing, and it says "wanna bang" on it. And you can get any custom text on it, but Nick specifically got this one that says "wanna bang." So I wonder if Alicia Sweep was sitting there going like, is this guy propositioning me? That's how I see it in my mind. I don't know. I don't know. That's how I see it. But yeah, that one's pretty funny. Let me see. All right, now let me see. Where are we? Okay. So now, unfortunately, we have to get into the Melton stuff, which is weird. So these are like 3 really long ones. I want to see if I can find a short one first. All right, let's see this one first.
I don't know if you've ever.
This is from 4 days ago. Nick explains how his 9-year-old tested positive for coke, February 28th. And Chorgan's Stormhammer dropped a super stick with $5 Doritos. If we hit the goal, of which we are, where's my thing? We're six into the goal. If we hit the goal of 20, I will reveal the entire earnings of the Rekieta Grift report. I know some people want to see that. All right, let's have a listen. We'll go past this on 2.25 speed because we've got a lot to go through tonight. I'm not sure if I'll even be able to finish all of this, honestly. Yeah, I'm starting to. I kind of wonder that actually. I kind of wonder if he bought it afterwards as a cope, because I really remember him saying it was framed. Maybe it's just my mind making truly tricks on me. Who knows? All right.
Chance to do this. Yesterday we were talking, and you were going into some scientific detail about the test on your child that came back positive, and you were talking about some certain metabolite or something. Can you explain that to people? Just like a TLDR.
Yeah, a really brief thing. I'm going to put together a long either video or publication on this with all the citations to this, because there is scientific backing to all of this. But
Nick's camera freezes throughout this because there's a thunderstorm going on or something. Now we did actually review this in, I think maybe the last time, which was back in January, and Nick's citations were literally from a Quora question post from how could you get a false positive on a cocaine test, and there's this very deranged doctor that responds. And we went through some of his old posts and stuff, and he talks about having like orgies in the hospital and banging nurses and things. It's very, very strange. But this is his expert. So these scientific scholarly articles he's talking about is basically a Kuma doctor that he found that also did experiments. I believe they got something. It was like unethical use of cocaine in some sort of unauthorized study or something like that. It was something like that. I can't quite remember. It was quite an entertaining look into this doctor's past, though.
Metabolite that my daughter tested positive for is benzocognine or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's BZE is the abbreviation. If you look out there, there are studies that show that the studies on drugs are very limited because they're illegal. But there are studies that show that this metabolite will actually start to form outside of the body on skin in moist, warm conditions, such as on a scalp or in an armpit, something like that. So the metabolite will actually start to form. The next part of this is that when there's an external contaminant, when they get a sample, a hair sample, they wash to remove external contaminants. There's another study out there that has shown that wash has the potential to actually force 2 specific substances, which are cocaine and benzocognine, into the hair follicle as if it came out, or into the hair as if it came out of the follicle naturally. You can look.
Now this is, I think that when I was looking at the reports of this of what he was saying, it's almost impossible for them to reproduce this result. This sounds like pure cope to me, that it's just like, it's like he's marinating a chicken, and it's like the osmosis of the cocaine and the metabolites being sucked into the hair, even though the hair washing process is designed to get rid of the contaminant. I don't think I believe this. And this test is incredibly dubious.
These they have been shown, and this is calling into question the methodology of washing, because no one actually asks. Law enforcement does not.
You're saying someone who's not on cocaine at all, you could literally put cocaine on the hair, and in the washing process, it would infuse the hair with cocaine. That would seem to like discount all hair follicle tests for cocaine. If you could just
No
literally
one-
frame someone like that.
No one uses hair follicle testing for cocaine in like the private sector. They don't use hair follicle testing.
Who cares if it's we're not talking about the private sector, we're talking about the public sector, specifically law enforcement. And if these tests are not used by them, why are they doing it on the kids and everyone? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, this just does not make sense at all.
For use, because mere exposure can show all sorts of it shows exposure. It doesn't show use at all.
It's so I've got a bit of background in terms of like building algorithms and things and skewing them towards certain.
Yeah, so this New Zealand guy, he's the mastermind behind the AI that talks in children's voices, and so that people can send in super chats and pretend that they're Aaron's daughter saying sexualized things. That's the background and algorithms that he has. Just for your context, little New Zealand guy. I've got some background in the algorithms. I got my PhD in Timaru, and been working on that. Big supporter of the show. Thank you, Mr. Melton.
So, for example, if you've got like this algorithm or a process that's going to go into the medical field, there's nothing that's going to be 100% that gives you a 100% result. So you have a choice when you're designing this to either skew towards a false positive or a false negative. Usually, if it's a non-invasive test, they will skew those towards false positives anyway, just to rule out anyone that absolutely doesn't have it. And then that if you test positive on that qualifies you to the next step, which is your actual test. It's like blowing into your blood alcohol level.
Now, of course, there aren't most. I don't think there's any test that's 100%, obviously, and some are more accurate than others. But if this cocaine test and Nick's story, this is his cope, is that the girl went back into the house, the daughter, and I believe this was the 9-year-old, and I think it was actually her birthday, the same day as the raid. So the same day that the cops busted in his door while April and Kayla were up doing 9 a.m. shots of coke. Because the safe was unlocked. Like Nick's going to go on to say in one of these clips that he always takes his drug safe with him, the safe that he was saying he never had before. But it makes sense because he has to say it for legal reasons, right? This was their daughter's birthday. That they came barging down, their 9-year-old daughter's birthday. If the cops touched her hair and they had coke on their hands, surely they did not touch her entire head. Wouldn't they take the testing from the other source or other site of the hair testing? And if they did that, then they would have a positive test after the negative. They'd have a negative test after the positive test. If they had that, why doesn't Nick just say that? This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I have a really big problem. And that Nick has never really addressed this. He only ever says that the government dropped their line of questioning. He never explains it. And these tests are allegedly valid for about 90 days after exposure. Nick had these children back at 77 days. So he still could have got his own test of his own volition at any time. And frankly, I think you would do that because you would want supporting evidence in your perhaps pending CPS case. But not only could Nick have done that, the children were always in the custody of his own family, the children's grandparents, Nick's parents. Is it Nick's parents? Yeah, I think it's Nick's parents. Maybe it's Kayla's parents. Either way, those grandparents could have got the test at any time. Wouldn't you ask yourself, if you had a family member, like you're a grandmother or you're a grandfather, your child gets taken away by the government because of drug charges, and they say that one of your children tests positive for cocaine, you now have the children. Would you not go get your own test to verify this or to disprove this? I don't understand why Nick hasn't addressed this. All he just says is the government doesn't want to pursue this line of questioning. Then wouldn't you get it so that you could use it against the government to show that their tests are fallible? I don't know.
There's a lot of ways you can get false positives from that, but it's a lot easier to blow into a little thing than it is to go and get your blood drawn, which gives you a much better result, but it's way more invasive. The cops would never set up a stall and be like, everyone who passes through, we need to draw your blood, right?
Yeah, it's breathalyzer field tests. The intoxilyzer is rather accurate. The breathalyzer that they use at the station, which is a big fucking machine. The field testing ones are subject to all sorts of issues,
like pickle juice and stuff,
or just temperature. They don't operate in the cold. In Minnesota, it's kind of a big problem. If you get pulled over and it's below 0 Fahrenheit, you should find out what model it is, because some of them, many of the breathalyzers that they use in the field are not accurate below 0 degrees. Some are rated to -20.
They're good to rule out people who absolutely don't screen, and then just because you test positive, that doesn't mean you're going to court, right?
Then you have to go to then you have to go get a further test. The most frustrating part of this is that the state never came after us. We never got to fight. We never got to test this stuff. I hired an expert.
No, they could have tested it themselves anytime. Their grandparents could have taken them for testing, or the parents could have taken them for testing after they received the kids back after the 77 days.
I had to pay him for 2 hearings that the state ended up.
I mean, this is kind of a good point, though. He talks about he hires an expert at great expense. So the idea that maybe they were short on cash and they couldn't afford like private testing doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And Nick is actually these guys here. If you're unaware of them, they're pretty nasty guys. You can see some of the clips about Melton specifically on the Third World Aristocrat YouTube channel. So Nick is very busy to go down to see Hackermania. So this is Melton's show. So Hackermania is on May 9th, and Nick specifically asked the court if he could go down and do this. And one of the reasons he says he should be able to go do this is because they can get drug testing pretty easily in Las Vegas. So Nick is prepared and understands what is involved in going and getting a private drug test. I mean, if he can test himself while he's in Hackermania, why couldn't he just test his children to make sure? And like, you just get that, right? Because either if you're like, was Nick, maybe Aaron did it. Oh no, maybe Aaron did it. So I got to go check. Oh no, she's clean. Okay, it's fine. Oh wait, it's clean. I can use this as a piece of evidence in my own trial. He just says the government never came after me, so we could never use that piece of argument. I don't see how that tracks. It only makes sense to Nick and the people that I guess get Nick on because they only want to use him to try and take shots at the toe. I don't know. No one's explained this, why he couldn't do this. And I think it's a big hole in Nick's arguments.
Acquiescing on, we never got to actually fight on this issue, which means it sits out there, and we don't know. Like he
even admits it sits out there. So then get your own test and say, look, I've got this test. I've removed my daughter's name and her information. It's a it's a negative cocaine metabolite test on her hair. The government was wrong. The government fucked up, or something. Like I assumed when I saw those results, they're so unbelievable that I was like, this has to be Kayla's hair. This has to be April's hair. This is the only thing that makes sense to me, is that the government mixed up the test samples because, there's like, everyone's got the same hair color. Maybe they they missed one. That's what makes sense to me. But then if that was the case, they would have a secondary follow-up test, which would show that it was negative, but they don't. And Nick's is just like, well, I never even got a chance. No, you do have a chance. You have a chance, right? You could do it right now, actually. Be less valid, of course, since it's been so long. But you could still do it. And then you could still hold that up and say, look, I have a clean test for my child. And then Nick will say, well, these tests are so inaccurate. However, he got tested like what? Hundreds of times over the last 9, I think it's 9 months, right? He's been tested, well, maybe not. No, it would have been hundreds of times, yeah. Because it's been like almost, well, let's see, according to my audit report, the Coke stream happened 289 days ago. So we should have at least 100 tests. All of his tests came back negative. So all of the tests that test him are 100%. There's no failure rate. Any test Nick said this, not me. Nick said that these tests have a 1 in 5 failure rate. So on his kids, obviously it's 1 in 5. And, lo and behold, he has 5 children. Fancy that. But whenever he's taking the tests, no possible way this could happen. No possible way. He didn't even have a pickle juice or anything that day. Oh, my goodness.
They just said, we take it all back and gave your kids back? Is that what happened? Or
yeah, they investigated us for months. They observed us with our kids. We had supervised visitation, then we had unsupervised visitation, but they would check in at any time. This went on for until it finally finished in November. We had a path to everything in August that finally wrapped up in November, and it was a nice relief. But during the time they were investigating, they were interviewing people. They did all sorts of medical tests on the kids. They did mental evaluations on the children. They talked to their teachers. They talked to the people at church. They tried to find any evidence that they could that these kids are mistreated. They couldn't corroborate anything. The whole hungry thing. Our house has more food in it than most people will buy in a year at any given moment, because the nanny did the shopping.
Doesn't help if you don't feed them, though. Like there's another. He might go and talk about the SpaghettiOs story, which I can't believe he actually tells the story at all. But if there's a lot of food in the house and you don't actually feed the kids, maybe the old ones can feed themselves. The young ones have trouble doing that.
Like I did.
And you're a doomsday prepper.
There's always food in our house, and all of our kids can cook. Like if there was something happened to us, our kids could actually live for quite a while.
Hold on. If your kids can cook, how come Aaron had to microwave them SpaghettiOs?
He didn't have to microwave her SpaghettiOs. All he had to do was open the can.
Yeah.
because she was 8 and she had trouble like with the little pop tab.
So she can cook it herself, but she can't because it's just the can. No, that means she can't cook for herself. If she can't open the can, she can't cook her own SpaghettiOs. And the fact that Aaron had to do that for her is embarrassing. So the kids can't feed themselves, obviously, because they went and got a help from an adult.
Leverage.
Yeah,
He's
so
so
regardless
funny.
of all of the, like, the thing that seems wild to me is that if this was all leaked, like this wasn't a public document about the cocaine positive test, but and so you'll never be able to defend it. But the thing,
unless you went and got your own clean cocaine test that you could post, why didn't you do that? Why didn't your parents do that? You could have told them, because they had visitation. They just say, look, this is really like this is outrageous. There's no way this could be true. All I want you to do is go to the private. Let's get a third party second opinion, go get the daughter or go get all the kids tested for cocaine use in their hair follicles. We'll get 5 clean tests, and then I can show this to everybody. I can show this to the government. I can show this to my friends. I can show this to my family, and I can show it to the internet if I so choose. Clean tests for all the kids. He doesn't have that. Why not? It's obviously not prohibitively expensive because he's willing to do it himself so that he can go watch these guys in Las Vegas next 2 months from now.
to me, that indicates something's up with it is that the courts the authorities basically had a positive test for cocaine, all these issues of neglect, yet they let the children go back into that environment. So what that tells me is, like, if what is on there was credible or really cited a problem for them, then they pretty much had you dead to rights and could take the kids away if that was safer for them.
They did take the kids away for 77 days. The reality, look, this is going to be a sad reality, but even though CPS does take kids away from a lot of people, those kids often go back into the homes of abusers and drug addicts and irresponsible parents. It happens all the time. People talk, when you hear the name CPS, most people associate it with assholes and failures. Okay? So when people say, like, well, obviously they found nothing because we got the kids back. Literal meth addicts say the same thing. I don't know why anyone buys that argument. It's not convincing. If anything, it's a nothing, but it's also just not very reliable.
But they didn't.
They should have, if that was true.
Yeah.
Like, if I knew someone was giving cocaine to a child, I would advocate immediately for that person to be removed and maybe killed. Like, it's horrifying to me that people actually think that happened, because it's so fucking crazy. One, why would you waste cocaine on a child? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, just think about it from the.
Well, Melton could probably be thinking of a few reasons that makes probably. Never mind.
Addict mentality if you have to.
So,
but I do
real
quick. I do actually have footage of 2 officers who had just come into contact with cocaine, touching that child's hair. That's on the body cam footage. It's not nefarious. It's not a conspiracy. It was a perfectly natural reaction. My daughter was about to leave with her grandparents. We had already been arrested and removed from the scene. None of us knew that this happened until we were able to review the body cam footage. But
maybe we see the body cam footage. You can edit out the faces. You just need to crop the image and show a picture of a gloved hand on top of a child's, head. You can remove everything else except the gloves on the hair. I mean, maybe he's busy at work making a big PowerPoint presentation about it. Who can say?
That my daughter was about to leave with her grandparents and she had forgotten her iPad inside. So she ran inside the house. And there's 2 officers in the entryway. One was the deputy chief, I believe, who was kind of just overseeing the investigation. He was mostly standing outside the whole time. The other cop who's there had just come out of the bathroom that they moved the safe into, because they took it outside, cracked open the safe. They brought it back into our front.
I wish I had the clip of Nick coping about there being no safe in his house, because for the longest time he was like saying safe. I've never had a safe. What are you talking? Safe? No, I don't have a safe.
Front bathroom, not the bathroom where they found it. And they were pulling it all out. That cop with his gloves touches my daughter's hair on body cam right after coming out of that bathroom. Like, he did not take his gloves off. He didn't wash them. All of this is there. I have to put it all together because it's multiple body cams to see it, obviously.
All right. So Nick's scientific expert that he paid, I guess, thousands of dollars to represent him, but never actually used the testimony because he never had the chance to, claims that moisture, like sweat or warm water, breaks down cocaine powder into the specific metabolite that was tested for, or that came back positive, and that the process of the warm hair and I guess transmutation from regular cocaine into these metabolites that the body usually produces, also at the same time infuses their hair. It sucks it in like you're marinating a chicken, right? Like the osmosis would be, I guess, the process. That's what Nick's claiming. However, this is very difficult to reproduce in the lab, if not impossible. And it's just the words of one very peculiar doctor from what we've seen. All right, that's the first one. That's the first one. Let's go to... Let's see. I'm going to try and jump around for this. We'll go to this one. Or actually, let's go to... Yeah, let's go to this one. This one's like 20 minutes. So we'll do this one on 1.25 speed as well.
I'll be less than 15 mins.
Jesus fucking Christ. First of all, adult.
First of all, like paying someone, like, it's like, dude, here's $10. Let me in. Let me in. And it seems like even Melton's audience is getting sick of listening to Nick yap on.
Man. Oh, the phones aren't open. I was like, you don't have to ask to call in. You can just call in. But look, Aaron's already triggered Nick. Let's have Nick call in and go.
Hold on a second. This is what people wanted me to see. There you go. The awkward moment when you need to ask mom's boyfriend to help you open your weekly meal because your dad and mom's are asleep in the Minnesota King. Yeah, sleep's full. There you go. That's a good meme. We'll keep that up. I'll save that for later.
Oh, yeah, but my house. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, Nikki Rekieta. Hello.
Hey, what's up? You'd asked me a question earlier, but I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was about the house or something. I was here to answer it.
Oh, he said, why aren't you law tube streaming? Because you can't do it without alcohol, and that's why you're not streaming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. It's impossible to live stream without alcohol. I don't know how anybody does it. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, Nick literally said that he's too sad to stream, and then he was able to drink, so he forgot he was sad, and that's why he could stream previously. So yes, he can't stream without alcohol. He has streamed once in the last 6 months.
He's right. He's got me. I'll never stream again.
Until tomorrow, apparently.
No, I haven't been streaming because of exactly what you were right about. Right? Like I was too hung up on past stuff, and it was making me sad, and I didn't want to do a sad show because that's boring. No one wants to hear about gay personal drama all day. They want to be entertained.
People want while he calls into a gay personal drama, like literally gay personal drama show, because they're going to talk about his relationship with Aaron. So obviously people do want to hear about it. Now, of course, you don't have to lean into that. And if you don't want to make that your show, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But to say that people wouldn't tune in to hear you talk about the gay personal drama is just untrue.
People want to hear about this gay personal drama, though.
It's true.
Right, but they don't want me to go on and talk about why I'm sad every day, which is all I could kind of think about for a while. I had to get my head right, you know? So that's why I didn't do that. I do love the house thing. So just to give some context, Aaron approached me to buy the house. And the first thing he said when April left him was, dude, I don't think I'm going to be able to buy the house right now. And I immediately said, like, I don't care. Like, don't worry about it. It was such a weird thing. I'm like, don't you care that your wife left you?
Obviously not, because he's already banging Kayla. Of course. No, he doesn't care. She's a slag. Who gives a shit? No. He's got real things to worry about.
That's way more important than the house.
I think he wanted her gone. He the minute that he couldn't control her anymore, it was over.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. It was the whole thing became just a deteriorating disaster between those two. And eventually they're like, well, we'll just have a business relationship, and see what happens. It was kind of awkward, but his whole thing is so interesting. Everything that he does is like, he's sitting there talking about, oh man, they're in the throes of addiction and stuff. It's like, where are you getting any of this? He's admitted so many times that he left. He hadn't been to our house in over a month by the time the cops came in. So he had no idea what's going on, but then he'll go on and be like, that wasn't all the coke they had. That wasn't all of it.
I mean, that makes sense though. Like, do you think that Nick just got like a fresh 28 grams of coke and they just went and bought it and put it in the house? That wouldn't have been all the coke. The coke drawer was open. They were probably going through it that very morning. Of course, they'd consume some of it. He probably goes and gets like a month's supply or something. Like, I think they're saying there was like, the rumor was he was spending like $10,000 or $20,000 a month. Now that's probably just 1 month. I don't think that's every month. But that's an insane amount. So yeah, like, it's not like they just got a fresh bag, an unopened bag, where they still got the little bread thing on it. You know what I mean? like a fresh loaf of bread? No. Obviously, there was more coke that had been up their noses already. Ussel's React, 105 says, let's face Nikki was only as entertaining as a train wreck. I kind of disagree with this, but I do thank you for the chat. I think that his show used to be good. Like a lot of people, when they start disliking something, they say like, well, it was always shit and I just never realized it. I don't agree with that. I think that it was a good show. It used to be an entertaining show. And that's why it became so popular. I mean, at one point, he did have 100,000 people live watching him. He used to be able to put on a good show. And to be fair, a lot of those like trial streams, it was the work of the other lawyers. I mean, he would just sit back and drink, maybe read the super chats and have snide comments while other legal people were giving their professional take. But no, the early streams were pretty entertaining. The Sean Shoe streams, Duncan McLeod stream, like those sort of ones, those were fun. And like and even in the early days, like back when he brought on Tonka, that was an entertaining show. The problem was that he started to use whiskey or alcohol and drugs as a crutch. And eventually it eroded his entire sense of humor to the point where only dick jokes are funny to him now, like literal just potty humor, basically. And without that crutch anymore, he just can't even walk. But I mean, that's my opinion. You can disagree with me. You're welcome to disagree with me if you want. But I think it used to be a good show. Sporkmaster 64, bring us one step closer to the goal, where I reveal all my YouTube earnings on the Nick Rekieta Grift Report. Says drugs are bad and Nick is a bum. Very true on both counts. Thank you very much.
It's an insult of convenience. I mean, first of all, 26 grams of coke is quite a bit of coke, but like it's at least enough for two parties. But it's an insult of convenience. It's easy to. It's like when anybody on the left just goes like, "Oh, well, you're a racist," or "You're Russian collusion," or whatever. It's like, okay, well, that just ends the argument. So it's very easy once you've been arrested for cocaine for a guy just to go, "I don't listen to him. He's a coke addict," and it's like, okay, well, I guess.
Yeah, and it was crazy because one of the things that held us up on all this stuff, because we wanted to immediately, when the government takes your kids, the first thing you think of is, how do I get my kids back? And we were under the impression that our kids were coming back within a week, 10 days, they make sure the house is all good, and they're going to send our kids back. And then all of a sudden they're telling us, no, it's going to be like a while. And we're baffled because...
So Nick claims it's either later in this clip or in previous clips that he thought the kids would be back in 2 weeks and that they just needed to clean the house to get them back. But then he just didn't clean the house that day. He had to get his parents to come and help him clean the house. Literally a child. He's been downgraded to permanent child. Like, I know he's got a big house. He has a very big house. But if your kids are taken away, you can't clean that house up in 24 hours. Get all the shit off the floor, put in a big trash bags, vacuum, wipe everything down. I swear to God, even by myself. And apparently there was 3 adults there. There was Nick, April, and Kayla. Between 3 adults, they couldn't clean the house in a week. They needed the parents to come and help them. Now, of course, the kids are going to be taken away for longer than that. But it's your children, for God's sake. Clean the fucking house. Clean your room, bucko.
We have excellent relationships with our kids. They're all well-adjusted. I've said all this a million times. But so we want to figure out.
Oh, I actually did have a clip and some things of him talking about. One of the reasons he allegedly couldn't clean his house was because he's got a small, impudent Korean washing machine. This is the cope. This is the fucking cope. I think he actually said he also had like a shirt subscription service where every week he would get like new shirts in the mail, like those food services or whatever, but for shirts basically. But he said his impudent little Korean washing machine was too small to handle that much laundry. So throw the fucking laundry away and buy new clothes, apparently, since you're so rich.
How to get our kids
tiny
back.
Laundry
Well, the
machine.
government now has a weapon to use against you, which is your children, in the other matter, which is a criminal case. And so they wanted us to tell the story about the drugs and all that stuff, and how did they get in the house, and we want to know all this. And it's like, well, I'm not going to incriminate myself in my criminal law case for the purpose of the family law case, because it wouldn't really be useful to get the kids back and then go to prison, right? So until I had some sort of assurance. And so what we were waiting for was something called a use immunity agreement, which is where you can give statements in one case, and those statements are sealed in that case. They cannot be used against you in a criminal matter. They tried not to do it because they normally are dealing with poor people who don't speak English. Wilmer has a high Somali and high Mexican immigrant population, very specifically, and it's.
I'm not sure if this is actually correct. Like, I think Wilmer specifically, where Nick lives, is actually like 95% white. I think he's talking about the Twin Cities. I guess maybe he just lives in the Twin Cities, getting hand jobs all the time and buying more coke. I think the Twin Cities they have a lot of like Somalis and Mexicans, I suppose. But I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not like an American statistics guy, but I thought Wilmer specifically was like 95% white. I don't know though. Though maybe he's specifically talking about for people that get these drug charges, because I think Nick was so like there are so little people, specifically so many little white people getting these charges in his area of Minnesota that I think he skewed the statistics by like 20% or something. This is like 5 people that have been caught. He's like one of the 5.
Weird anomaly. The county is like 95% white.
Oh, there you go.
Wilmer
there you go.
is a third white, a third Mexican, and a third Somali. It's that diverse. It's the most diverse city in Minnesota, I believe.
Okay, so it's just specifically Wilmer. All right. Strange, but okay.
So they're used to dealing with people who have no legal experience, very little resources, and don't speak English. So they can muscle them into all sorts of stuff, leveraging children. So for us, I'm a lawyer. I'm like, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to compromise ourselves. We wouldn't do us any good to get our children back and then have to be taken away. So we were waiting on this use immunity. But I told the county, I'm like, once you give us the use immunity, I'll tell you like whatever you need to know about the circumstances about why we had this stuff. The amount of cocaine that I had was literally, like you said, I think you said it's a matter of convenience because it was a pain to go get.
So like he's trying to say he's going to the Costco of drug dealers because you only want to go once a month to go buy your coke. It's a pain to go get all the coke. Okay, so you just buy a lot. Doesn't help your argument. Isn't great. It's like, well, I mean, I just bought a lot of coke because I don't want to make more trips. I want to spend more time getting fucked up rather than going to buy the stuff that gets me fucked up. I mean, it's just a cost-cutting measure, really. Like, it doesn't help because the charges are based on the amount you have. So I'm not sure that's a good thing, but okay. It's a wholesale. I mean, maybe.
I mean, look, even when I buy weed, I go down.
Patrick, please tell me this is the long con and you're going to snake this motherfucker.
So this is what Patrick has. He has like these auto chats that I think that Moody coded or something, or at least set up. The AI voices. And but I mean, he's making a fucking killing with all the chats that Nick's sending. I think Nick sends in like 20 a day or something. But that is pretty funny. And I suspect that eventually they will snake him after they can no longer get any more details about Aaron.
I'm not trying to snake anybody. I give people a fair shake. Like again, if a year from now, if Nick is still going on and on about April, I'm tapping out.
No. That's the thing. I was saying
I doubt it. I'm pretty sure the only thing that Melton talks about is Aaron.
Want to do that. Like I wanted to get over all this stuff. This was a really intense part of my life, and like there's lots of collateral stuff that happened that I had to work through. That's why I haven't been streaming. It's because I didn't want to get online and be like, oh man, guys, I had a down day. Like,
I believe it. Unlike Aaron, you still have something to fight for and work for, which is your fucking family and your wife. Aaron has nothing. That's why he can stream twice a day, every fucking day. He's a guy who accuses everybody else of living life on the internet. Meanwhile, no one's on the internet more than Steel Toe. No.
All right. Now Aaron does stream a lot, but I'm kind of curious. I want to check this out for a second. Let me see. All right, so let's have a look at Nobody Likes Onions channel, podcasts, playlists. All right, full shows, featured video. I guess this one. All right, go to this one just briefly. Sorry, I just clicked on the playlist, and the first one's giving me a warning. All right, so there's like 556 episodes of this, going back to the oldest one. So is even the furthest back one I can go to, it's talking about Aaron. These all have Aaron in their title or their thumb. And I'm not going to say that I don't talk about Nick a lot, or at least I haven't. I haven't recently, but I have in the past. But this guy has like, I guess if he's streaming every day, over like almost 2 years worth of streams about about Aaron. So I mean, I guess, but that's a lot of streams. That's a lot of streams talking about the toe. I don't understand the appeal of the toe. Why are they obsessed with him? Like for Nick, I know that we talk about Nick a lot, But that's because we were kind of invested in his story. Then we got the betrayal, the lies revealed, and now we're watching to see how this legal fallout happens. I don't see the same thing. Like, Aaron never presented himself as anything else than he was, right? I don't know. Like, what do you get out of the toe? I don't get it. Almost 1,000 people watching. Be sure to hit that like button. Also, if you're unaware, we've got the super goal tonight. If we hit it, I reveal all of the money that I've made on the Rekieta case.
No one does more streaming than Steel Toe, and he has nothing else. The minute it goes off, that's an empty house. That's unless Slam Piece is there or her kids are there. So
Aaron has children though, right? Doesn't he have like at least? I think Aaron has like 2 baby mamas or something. So, well, Nick has got to live for his kids, but Aaron doesn't. He does have kids, obviously. I mean, Melton in particular knows that Aaron has kids because he's been lusting over them for years.
I agree. You shouldn't stream. You should fucking get your head right, get your family right, take care of your kids. And you know, I told you all this bluntly in private as well. You know this. Like, I'm not saying one thing one place and one the other. So,
and I agree with you. That's the thing I wanted to get across. Like, I agree with that advice. And I appreciate that candor from you, honestly. One other thing I want to address, Aaron keeps doing this. He keeps saying I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Both of my parents worked full-time jobs through me going through college. My mom worked for 25 years in the mortgage industry. My dad worked for Cray for 35 years. Like, they were full-time workers. There was no generational wealth. My grandfather made a bunch of money in like 2007, and some of that matriculated down to some people.
All right. Wait, actually, I'm going to say something here. I want to just see if he's going to fill this up.
I could tell you, like, this all comes from a misread of my grandfather's will when I was
doing. This is not important. So Nick says that he's not a silver spoon in his mouth kind of kid. He had to work for it. He's a self-made man. I've got my chalkboard out here that we're going to go over some things. So I just want to write down some things. So, oops. Oh my God, I already bungled it. There we go. So 2007 is when his grandparents hit it big. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this story, Nick's grandfather, I guess grandmother, whatever. No, it's grandfather, but grandparents, whatever. They were founding members, or at least a large stakeholder in a company called Petrofax. So they made we'll just write down the literal oil barons. So much so that they're able to donate money to entire hospital wings named after them. Before Nick started streaming and got on the coke, the Rekieta family name was known as people that would donate wings to hospitals. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, so they hit big in 2007, and he's not a trust fund baby or anything. When I heard this, I was like, I think I remember hearing something different. So I went down if we go to the Turkey Tom video. So Turkey Tom did a video. The lawyer is facing 26 years in prison. Obviously, that's not going to happen. No one really thought that was going to happen. This came out in June of last year. Now, there's an interesting part at the beginning where they talk about Nick's like history, what he was doing, because Nick likes to say he was a self-made man. He was uncancelable because he had already paid off his mortgage. And even if he lost all of his YouTube revenue, it wouldn't matter because he would still have enough to keep going forever. But we didn't know about it. Okay. This is all unknown to us until we saw the video. So let's take a look.
West Minnesota State University to get a degree in literature and creative during this period. West Minnesota State University to get a degree in literature and creative writing.
2005 is when he graduated. So Nick graduated from university in 2005. 2005, he finishes university. I'm roboting. Yeah, they're trying to shut me down. They're trying to shut me down. Suffer Japanese internet. Suffer. All right. So basically, I don't know how much I went back on, but we learned that Nick's grandparents struck it big with oil in 2007. Now, from the Turkey Tom video that goes through his LinkedIn, which I never actually took a look at, we know that he graduated from Minnesota State University in 2005. So he hadn't worked a real job or a job that could support a family or even start his family until at least after 2005. And I don't know what time of the year Americans graduate. For me, it was like in December, I think. Like it's the end of the year. I know in Japan, they're like, they did it in March. What time do Americans graduate? But basically, he starts his first full-time working job in 2005. Let's see what happens next.
During this period, in his early 20s, that he met Kayla, his future wife, who was attending the same university. Though they've remained remarkably private about their kids and kept pictures of them squarely out of the internet, probably wise given the state of things, we do know that Kayla became a stay-at-home mom in 2007, soon after they had their first.
Okay, so they've got one income. In 2007, the same year that the oil money hits, so we go down to 2007, Nick is presumably working at this time. They have a single, we'll just say single income house.
First child. The pregnancy and having to pay the bills are probably what made Nick take up work in customer service for Wells Fargo around the same time.
All right, working in customer service 2007, customer service. We'll just say it's CS, right? CS is good, fine. Sorry, I know this is all garbage. It looks like garbage, but it's going to be added to my schizo board eventually.
Fortunately for him, he only had to stay there for a little over a year as he managed to get a much more prestigious job as a brokerage representative at Thrivent Financial for Lutherans, an organization that provided services like life insurance and retirement planning, and at the time employed only Lutheran Christians, indicating that this was Nick's religion. For 3 years.
All right.
Nick had a life many people would kill to have. He was in his mid-20s.
All right, so he's working as a representative for 3 years. So 3 years of work. Now, Nick talks about this in his streams, and he talks about how he hated working at these banks and he didn't want to be a sales job position. Like he had to like upsell them like life insurance and things like that. And he didn't want to stay after work. And whenever they had meetings, he would go read books and stuff. And that's where he was reading all the Warhammer novels. So it's very unlikely that he made a big difference here, because he talks about how much of a terrible time it was and how all of his managers were incompetent and he had to go get his sleep studies and things like that. So from everything that Nick has said, we can make the assumption that he put the bare bones into this job and was making very little, if anything, on commission, and it was mostly just salary, because Nick says many times, I'm not a salesman. Do not put me in a sales job. If you do this, I will do a bad job. Okay, so we've got single income, working at a job that he hates and is probably doing very badly at.
Had a wife, a kid, and presumably another kid on the way, and a good-paying job in a charitable Christian organization. But even then, he had the ambition to do more, and in early 2010, he stopped working for Thrivent, and based solely on what's on his LinkedIn page, spent the rest of the year without a job. And
all right, and this is the important part. He went to law school from 2011 to 2015. 2011 to 2015. Now that's working. I assume that's full-time law school. So he's only worked, his entire working life was 6 years out of university. 6 years work. Now, during this time, and until he becomes a YouTube lawyer, so he works with 6 years, finish university. You know, when you finish university, you make shit money. He works for 6 years, starts law school, which he takes 4 years to do. During this time, Nick acquires 1 to 5 children. Now, all the children, you know, obviously the children weren't all at the same time, but he starts having children, 1 to 5 children, a single income. He also acquires 2 houses worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, mortgage free. And he's paying for law school. How did he do that? How do you do that? How do you take 6 years out of university and use that to acquire 2 fully paid off mortgage free houses, even if they are in Minnesota, 5 children, and law school payments, and I guess student loans? But he's not a trust fund baby. He's not a trust fund baby. He's a self-made man. He did it all himself. And also 2 years after he graduates, his grandparents just happen to become literal oil barons. Not a trust fund baby. He did it all himself. I mean, maybe he bought Bitcoin early. Who can say? I'm going to put a big fucking X of doubt on this one. It seems pretty obvious that the only way he could acquire this, unless he played the lottery, is that he got money from his parents or his grandparents. So when he says like, oh, I'm not born on a... Well, okay, technically you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth. It just came after you had graduated, 2 years after you graduated. Okay, good. He grew up in the hood, guys. Yeah, he talks a bit about that. How he says that he grew up in the like most dangerous part of Texas or something like that. But people actually looked into it, and it's a pretty bougie area. But he says that people were dying there every day. Who can say? Anyway, let's return to the clip. That was just a little fact checking I wanted to do. He's a trust fund baby.
Doing the Vic Mignogna case, a third-year law student found my grandfather's will, which is a matter of public record in the town in which he's deceased, and they posted it online because they're a quality person.
Okay, that's an interesting statement. So he's mad about the will being posted. He's a quality person. He found a public document and he posted it online. Quality person. Nick has no problem with posting personal information. He's talked about people's dirty laundry constantly. His entire career has basically been talking about people's dirty legal laundry. And furthermore, the first time his YouTube, well, I guess maybe the only time, the only time his YouTube channel got deleted was when he was threatening to dox the people that had sent in through ethics complaints. And at that time, I actually went to bat for Nick. I was like, this is wrong. Reinstate his channel. These people are sending fraudulent ethics complaints. But Nick was he literally came on stream and said, these people filled out ethics complaints. I'm going to read their entire names tonight with their addresses and phone number. Like, that's why his channel got deleted after the Duncan McLeod thing, I think it was as well. So he has no problem with posting public information. But then it's like, well, somebody found my dead grandfather's will, then they posted online. That piece of shit. I mean, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. You can't really complain about it, can you?
But then they proceeded to misanalyze something called a residuary trust, a residuary estate trust. So what happens is when you die, from the time you write your will to the time you die, you might make a bunch of money. Like you win the lottery, hit it big on a scratch off, whatever. And that money might not be accounted for. So that would go into, you can have it go into something called a residuary trust. And then that trust is managed by someone. But that's only if there is unaccounted for money. So a bunch of lawyers online all misread this as
well, like, so he said he did show the names. Not the addresses. No. So what happened is he had previous ethics complaints and he did read the names of those people. But when his YouTube channel got deleted, so his YouTube channel was actually like just straight up deleted immediately, like no strikes, warning, gone. And everyone in LordTube came to bat for him. And we're like doing streams saying like, no, bring back Nick, get Nick back and everything. Everyone was on his Nick's side at that time. He literally said he was going to show their name. He threatened them. He said like, oh, you filled in your real name and real address? I'm going to read these tonight in their entirety. He did like a teaser, a promo teaser. And then after doing the promo teaser, where he said he was going to reveal everything, including their addresses, and before his show started, in the middle is when his YouTube channel was deleted. Because I remember, I was a daily listener at that time.
There was a huge trust account that my grandpa left behind that was being managed by my friend who's a lawyer. But that residuary account doesn't exist. It never did. There was never anything.
Yeah, and it's fine. But again, this is just what, like, Josh Denny does this to me and tells everybody that I'm a trust fund kid. It's like, my parents were divorced and poor. Again, I'm Florida white trash. Like a trust fund. I've never had a trust fund in my life. My mom died, and then I got Social Security because I was underage without a parent. When my mom died, I got her Social Security, Like,
yeah.
But that's just the law. Like,
for Aaron doesn't he has no concept of like money or how anything works, and it shows all the time. One, the fact that his goal exists in the first place and is so low is embarrassing for him.
Can we hit it? The goal. So this is kind of insane to hear. But Nick goes on to talk about how easy it is to make money on social media because he never really had to try, because he kind of fell ass backwards into a very, very lucrative money-making scheme. His own schemes don't actually make that much money when he's trying to use his own intelligence. It's just so happened that he was kind of the first person moving in the area. That's how the streams got so big. But no, setting a smaller goal is actually a lot of the times better, because if you set an unobtainable goal, people typically won't donate because they don't think that they will make that goal. And it's what's the point? You have to set a goal that is high enough that people think they can hit it, but also significant to your own, whatever your goals are, I guess. I think Aaron's goals is like $300 a day or something between two shows, so $150 a show. It seems like he hits it quite a lot, although there have been some rumors, and actually I think he actually confirmed himself that he was sending himself donations, which is just stupid, but he wanted to hit the goal. Because if you send yourself donations, YouTube takes a cut, and then also a cut's taken if you're on an Apple device as well. So it's just a way to delete money from your own account, and then you have to pay tax on the money that you give to yourself if it's through YouTube. So it makes no fucking sense. It's not a scam. Like, it's not illegal to send yourself super chats. It's just a way to delete money from your account for clout, I guess. because it makes people think that you're better if you make a big goal. But no, like setting a reasonable goal is honestly a good idea, or setting a joke goal can be a good idea too. But Nick is obviously an expert. Now, when he gave his expert opinion to Rumble, they laughed him out of the Rumble room. It actually sounds like a fun place though. The Rumble room sounds like a ball pit or something.
April never knew how much money I made, but
this guy is putting me to sleep.
Good, go to sleep. It was like, this is not a brag. This I always
and yeah, this is very true. Like making $300 a day from your own home. And I don't know how long Aaron streams, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't stream 8 hours a day. So he's working less than the average person. He's doing it from his home. And he's making it work for him, I assume. And he's not bankrupt. He seems to have his, he's got family or some shit, I guess. I mean, he's got several families. But I mean, yeah, sure, he doesn't make as much money as Nick. Nick, at one point, I think Nick has no perception of what like a reasonable earning is, because he's never really had to work to provide for himself. Because as we saw, as soon as he left college, his parents made it big, and he only worked for a couple of years before he just decided to become a lawyer man. And he convinced his grandparents, like he talked about this in his earlier shows, like he one of his family members was a lawyer, so I think he went to his grandfather and explained like why he wanted to be a lawyer, which is why he got his entire law school paid for, and I assume the house as well and everything. Because there's no way in 6 years he's having 5 kids, going to law school, and paying off 2, not 1, but 2 houses that cost, I think even the trap house where he was sticking April for, that was like $400,000 at original market value. I think it sold for like $250,000. But his main house, the main Boldo bunker, that's like a $600,000, $800,000 house. He's got it tax-free, not tax-free, but mortgage-free. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. I mean, he was making a buttload of money. He made like millions of dollars in super chats, and good. I mean, good for him, I suppose. In one day, he said he made more than $22,000. So yeah, he's making a fuck ton of money, but it's not because he's smart. It's not because he could just. It's not like he's going to go back and do those sort of numbers again. It's because he was, capitalizing on a very well-publicized event, the Rittenhouse trials, the Johnny Depp trials, and he was largely the first mover advantage. A lot of people want to give him. I mean, we criticize him a lot, but he was at least smart enough to be one of the first people doing it. So he does have that for himself. Arsehole Iraq says, speaking of high goals, I'm chipping away from it. Let's see. We're almost halfway through the goal, I think, to reveal how much money I made off Nick Rekieta. Where's my panel? I can't see it anymore. There it is. There it is. There it is. We're almost halfway to the goal, chat. Can we hit it? Can we hit it? I think we need to bump up those numbers. We'll see. We'll see.
At this, the amount of money on social media is comical. And
this is true, though. This is true. That's why I want to. I mean, obviously, I have a financial incentive to hit the goal, but I want to show you guys just how much. And like, let's see some numbers in the chat. How much do you think we've made from talking about Nick? And this is from memberships, ad revenue, and super chats. How much do you think? Post your guess in the chat. If anyone gets it, I'll star it, and I'll give you a shout out later, I suppose. We'll see if we can get it. $14.88. Well, interesting. $5. It's not a million. It's not a million. This is a couple of good guesses. There's a couple of good guesses. We'll have to see. There's some good ones. Hold on, I got to star a couple of these. That's a good one. All right. $420.69. No. Some people are good. Some people are pretty close. We'll see. It's not as much as I'd like, but it's more than I think you'll think it is. It might surprise you, and I know that the revealing the amount will make the Baldo washers mad, because while they're sitting there saying, Nick, come back, giving away their $20 super chats to a man that doesn't give a shit about them, they'll seethe in rage. Anyway, let's continue.
I made Aaron's annual income every month and a half. And he's like sitting there talking about this silver spoon and this trust fund. It's like, no, Aaron, I just was making a shitload of money.
And literally, Aaron's mom is a lunch lady. If anybody was born with a spoon in their mouth.
He's a little pudgy boy. Probably like at least a tablespoon. I don't know.
Look, I mean, these again, you don't have to defend yourself about all this stuff, and you shouldn't. Like,
okay. Dally Talk says enough to pay for abortion at Hito. Yes, that is at least true. That is at least true.
It's retarded. Yeah, Aaron knows it's retarded, and
no, he doesn't though. That's the funny thing. I promise you, he does not actually know it's retarded. And this again goes to the pathology of Aaron Imholt, in which no reality exists for him other than what he needs to be real at a moment. But he doesn't understand that that's happening. His brain does it automatically, probably to insulate him. I have no idea if it's due to like a trauma or if he's just had some sort of break somewhere in life. But he does not know that a reality other than what he's saying in the moment exists. And I will take this to my grave and I'll preach it from the mountains, because if you don't understand this about Aaron, you will never get him. You'll think he's like a nefarious actor. He's not. He's just like, his brain cannot understand that there's a reality.
You think so? Like, this is a weird cope that Nick says. Nick claims that Aaron has no concept of self-actualization and he cannot live in the future or the past. He has to live in the moment of the present. He's saying that he's a literal NPC who can't comprehend anything else. But at other times, Aaron's like a mastermind genius that's like got everything behind the scenes, like setting up Nick's life for failure. Like, it doesn't make sense. How is he doing that without the ability to think about the future? How can you premeditate something? So apparently Aaron can't comprehend anything else except his next Bloody Mary from Stoney's Bar and Grill, the best place to get a drink in Minnesota. $2 cans on Thirsty Thursdays. Today's Thirsty Thursday, actually, I believe.
What he wants
You
to
think
be.
he genuinely thinks he's killing it and beating everyone?
Yes. Oh, 100%.
Then why is he so neurotic?
He would tell me that, you know, the whole like, first in the market on the radio. Like, he would talk about that all
Yeah,
the
but that's
time.
to show up to you.
But like, I mean, Aaron is a cuck because he did let you fuck his wife. But he was on the radio, as far as I understand it. And Nick would talk about him being a radio guy. When Nick was wanting to bang April, he was very pro Aaron. And he was like, he's a stand-up comedian. He's a real radio guy. We're just doing a silly YouTube show. Like, he talked up Aaron until the moment he stopped banging a Kayla. I guess that's what he's really mad about, is now he has to do it. Like, oh, fuck, now I have to go do that? That hall, I have to go down that long hallway? Come on now.
That's to show up to you, a guy who, you know, he's trying to be better than you in some way. Clearly he can't with his dick. Clearly he can't with financial, independency. And so he has one thing over you. It's that he's got talent. He's on the radio. And again, I don't think he believes it because he didn't headline his own event. He put you up, a guy who's never done stand-up comedy ever in his life. He let headline his event. If he had this grandiosity.
I don't know if that's true. I think Nick went last. Now, yeah, typically the last person is the headliner, but I think they threw a Nick last because it was the first time he was doing stand-up and they wanted the crowd to be warmed up for him. I did see this show and it's pretty bad. Should we watch it sometime? The Nick Rekieta stand-up. It's basically like edgy cringe porn. It's just really awkward audience and a lot of jokes that are really failing to land. I've seen it before. I didn't think it was worth reviewing at the time though. But at the time, I didn't know about the entire drama and everything. It might be interesting to watch in retrospect. But the Nick Rekieta stand-up appearance might be worth. Maybe we'll do that as a bonus one day. We'll see.
Why wouldn't he go up last? He knows he sucks.
And then he got mad at me for not knowing when to get off the stage. I'm like, I'm bad at this. What do you think I was going to do?
That's why you put him up last. Everyone's already drunk and everyone's already laughing. You send up the weakest guy because he's going to have the best reception of the crowd. You don't want to put him up first. God, no.
What a weirdo. But no, he genuinely believes all of this. And it's 100%. He believes he puts on the best show on television, on radio, on everything. That's true.
I mean, Aaron's not even better. Is Aaron streaming at the moment? I think he is, right? Because we stream at regularly similar times. I mean, Aaron's not even putting on the best live stream right now because our live stream is like almost 3 times the size of his. But no, like, it is good to think that you're the best if you want to do. Like, that sort of thing gives you the confidence to go on and do these sort of things. So, like, if you believe it, like, he's saying he's confident. I'm not sure that's the own that he was looking for. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, Toe's suffering right now. He's got this is my time slot. Get out, Aaron. Get out. Go back to your golf games, you weirdo.
When he says, we did a good show today. It's worth it. But anyway, I told you I'd keep it less than 15 minutes. I didn't want to drag.
Because you made us sit through all this, now you have to tell the other story.
Did you count the Rumble viewers? No, but they don't count. Nobody counts the Rumble viewers. That's all made up bullshit. The Rumble viewers, come on now.
The other story.
Because he won't be able to refute it because someone's in it he can't mention. When you were in the bedroom and they were in the bathroom. Come on, tell it.
Oh no.
Come on.
So you asked me a question on My Little Piggy. You said, was there any like crazy group stuff or whatever? And I had to think about it because there really wasn't. But there was this one time when I was with April, and then he came into the room and like did the whole, like he knelt down, grabbed her hand.
Hold on. You came into the room and everyone else decided to join in, right? Everyone else decided they were going to have fun in the bed.
Yeah.
But then Aaron...
Yes, except for him.
What did he do? What did he do?
I was saying, he knelt down, like grabbed April's hand.
While she's getting fucked by you.
I mean, you didn't have to put it crassly.
Yes.
And then he went in the other room and cried.
No.
So,
What did he say? What did he say to her while she was?
Do we believe? I can believe this story. I can believe that Aaron went in and held April's hand, or was it April or Kayla? I guess it'd be April's hand, right? I mean, they're all doing weird shit, but like, I'm not sure how. Every time Nick tells these stories, I don't think he realizes he's just exposing himself as a cuck. Aaron's a cuck, yes, but you're a cuck too, Nick. Aaron was balls deep in your wife, and you got to be balls deep in April as a trade. Okay, that's cucking each other, and that smell doesn't wash off. You can't wash off the smell of a toe. Kayla's gonna smell like that forever. All of her holes are gonna smell of the toe forever, the rest of your entire life. Aaron said that Nick held Kayla's hand too. I think we can assume that everything Nick said happened to both him and Aaron. They both swapped each other's baby gravy. I 100% believe that. They both tasted each other's recipes. They both held each other's wives' hands while they were getting railed by the other man. They're just cucks.
Come on, tell it the way you told me. Hey, you're all shy now? Come on.
He asked her how everything was, how she was doing. Give the old check-in.
I thought you said that he said, come on. This is about Aaron. This is making Aaron look bad. Just say what Aaron said.
I don't remember exactly what I told you.
So it's fake.
It was no, it's not fake at all.
Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
You said that he.
Yeah, they were sending money for him to get off, and that's the reality now. Is Nick has to pay to get on, and then the chat has to pay to get him off. Bad phrasage, I guess, but I mean, for all of Melton's faults, he's at least grifting off the situation in a very profitable way. And as soon as Nick runs out of money or stories about Aaron, then they'll snake him and they'll move on to just making fun of the toe again, because that's what they do.
He came in the room, he refused to participate, and he took her hand and was telling her that he likes the way she takes it.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. Again, being diplomatic in how I talk about this stuff, because I don't.
Yeah, of course. It's worth noting at this point that Kayla has said that she does not want to be slagged on the internet. She does not want this to go public more than it is. She wants people to stop talking about this. She wants this to stop. Nick does not respect her wishes, and Nick is gonna, because he has to get a win over Aaron. So he goes on, I guess, daily. It's like 4 hours a day or something. And he just makes fun of Aaron at the same time degrading his own wife. Because this story is terrible for Aaron, don't get me wrong. This is embarrassing as shit. But it's your wife that he's banging. And like Nick will say, like, oh, I knew Aaron was a bad guy all along. He was such a bad, but then you selected him to fuck your wife. So do you hate your wife that much that you will subject her to the toe? Come on now, Nick. Come on now, Nick. Disgusting behavior. Kitty says, make it stop. This one's almost over.
Sure. I get it.
It's too many salacious details. Like it's, this stuff is all really weird. Like it's not my normal experience. Okay. This stuff is all very strange for me. And it's not something I'll probably ever do again either. Okay. It was a odd.
He said, probably. That's not a good look. I'll probably never do this again until the next time. Right.
Point in life. But that was a really weird encounter because it was like,
that was the weird encounter. That one in particular. Nia with a very good member chat says, this content makes me miss the dinosaur gameplay. The dinosaur gameplay will return this weekend. Don't you worry. I've even prepared another saltwater crocodile for us to play. So we can start off with that. And when I inevitably starve that one to death, we can move on to something else. Maybe Stegosaurus this time. I don't know. And I think Sean said he might want to play the dinosaur game too. That might be fun.
well, I mean, like, I guess you could participate. And then instead it was like, no, I'm going to hold her hand instead and then leave. And it's like, oh, okay.
And then he went in the other room and
Well,
cried.
that was weirder.
But you said he went in the other room and cried, and she had to go comfort him after.
Yeah.
Didn't Nix admit that he cried and him and Aaron cried together? I'm pretty sure this is actually canon in Nick's own imagination, not only in reality. That both of them held each other's wife's hands while they were getting fucked by the other man, while they were cuckold, hot swapping or something, and then they both cried. Like, oh my goodness, embarrassing.
Yes.
He cried. Why are they crying?
Well, because
hey, look, invite Kurt to play the dinosaur stream. Hey, Kurt, we're all playing Myosaurs. Load up a Myosaur, we'll find you, buddy. And then like me and Sean come out like with two Carnotauruses, like feeding time. No, just kidding. Actually, you know, maybe you could play Chain Together with Sean. That might be a good one. That might be a good alternative. I've only played that one time.
it's not, I mean, like, to give the sympathetic side, man, it's weird, right? Like, that would be a weird thing to walk in on that.
Okay. People are saying Aaron is a legit cuck. Like not a joke.
I mean, this is true. He's legit cuckold, but so is Nick. There is no way to get out of this situation without being a cuckold, especially since you went to hedonism not once but twice. And I only learned about the twice hedonism. Nick admits this in one of the clips I'll play in a second or something. I didn't. Did you guys know this? That he went there twice? He couldn't get enough of the mahogany gods at hedonism that he needed to go back.
Cuck, like an actual cuckold. Like he enjoys.
Guys, when someone trolled Aaron with an internet history that involved a bunch of cuck porn, he went to the police and said, that's mine.
That's true. You do need to know that when someone put out of internet history and Aaron.
Now, this is weird because they're admitting to the digital trespassing, which I don't think is a good idea. Although I don't think that anything will come for it. There's no way the charges are coming on that thing. It's just dead. It's not going to happen. But I'm not sure they should be admitting to it either. Because if this is indeed Aaron's history, then they did acquire it through illicit means. And Nick somehow believes that his argument is great, that because Aaron left his PC logged in, it's okay to go through his private material. No, that's like you see a car and someone left the keys in the ignition. You can't just take that car. That's theft. Oh no, officer, he left his password logged in, so I was allowed to go through his files, his banking files and all his records and everything. Like, what? No. You're a lawyer, for God's sake. You should know this. Not only is it basic decency, it's basic legal understanding.
And it was literally,
if someone's front door's unlocked, you can't just walk in the fucking house. Unless you're in the UK, and then you can get away with it because, you know.
Really like reading about Nick on Kiwi Farms and then going and watching cuck porn and then going to April's Twitter. Aaron went to the police and was like, they have my info. All right, that was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said earlier, the way he would finish is asking her about me, which was really awkward. Like that made me.
And that is awkward if true.
I mean, when you think about it, all porn is kind of cuckish. Like even if it's just a guy fucking a girl, you're watching.
No, this is a fucking retarded take. Watching porn is not cuckoldry because you have no emotional investment in that person. Okay, unless it's your own wife in the porn, that's not cuckoldry. Who fucking makes this argument? It's like this is some like what is it? Whatever podcast bullshit or something. I don't know. Cat and Way with a 5 says Nick is trying to insist that Aaron is a cuck, but not himself. Is like a South Park gay polarity scene. I don't think I've seen that one, but that sounds pretty funny. But yes, exactly. Which means we're almost halfway to the goal. Can we hit it yet?
Watching a guy fuck a girl and getting off. So like, isn't porn cuckoldy anyway?
No.
I don't know.
I mean, you shouldn't watch a lot of it. You know, like if you do watch a lot of porn, you will get porn addiction and you will have an unhealthy view of reality. But like, I'm sure you can watch a bit of it and be fine. I mean, hopefully.
Heard we could get into the philosophy of that. I've heard that argument a lot from like the manosphere. I don't typically agree because I think for cuckoldry you have to have an investment in one of the parties, right? And with
okay, I figured it out. Nick isn't a cuck because for cuckoldry to exist, you have to have an emotional investment in the other party, and he doesn't give a shit about Kayla. Okay, we figured it out. Okay, you know what? There we go. We figured it out. Nick's not a cuck because he doesn't care about the mother of his children. That's why he was banging April all day, every day, instead of her while she was enjoying Star Trek. I'm glad she found something she loves too. The Delta Quadrant. Great. Good for her.
You don't.
Right. There has to be some shame component.
Yeah. And I don't understand that. I'm into a whole bunch of stuff, like as long as you're, with your partner and you're like doing it in an adventure together. Like I don't care what people do.
An adventure together down the toe hole. Yeah, that sounds like a fun little adventure.
I am not personally into shame and humiliation. Like that's a weird
doubt. He is absolutely into shame and humiliation. That's why he put his wife and his family through this. And that's why he's doing this right now. It's a humiliation ritual. He's paying this obese child enthusiast to make fun of him to his face.
Weird thing. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I don't like, but other people do that. That's fine. I don't give a shit, but that is not a thing that I get. The shame and humiliation thing. I don't like it for either party. I think it's very, very awkward to me.
Okay. So for either party, so why is he is shaming his own wife every fucking day. He talks about this situation. She has said she wants no part of this online. So Nick goes and tells the stories about how Aaron is like an embarrassed, small-cocked, kickstand penis guy. But that's the guy that you chose to fuck your wife. Why do you keep talking about this? Because you have to get a W over the toe. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, the only way it makes sense is that he's actually just in love with Aaron. I think everyone's kind of came to that realization that Nick is just got lovesick for Aaron, which is embarrassing.
So,
all right.
anyway,
Well, people have a lot.
I just wanted to.
People have a lot
to
shake from.
Yeah, this is gonna cause him to
much.
fucking melt down. These two stories are gonna make him scream.
No, it's just fake internet stuff. Remember, none of it matters. There's no real life.
Well, he definitely reacts. He definitely reacts like they're fake.
Go touch ass or whatever.
All right, thanks, Nick.
What is go touch his wife's ass? Like go touch Kayla's ass, Aaron. That'll teach you a lesson. What the fuck? Nia with 5 poons says, "Goal time by the rivers of Babylon. There they sat down. Yeah, we wept and we remembered Zion. Character limit on these $5 chats is very generous. Yeah, we have a pretty modest goal time. We're already halfway there. We'll see if we can hit it, and then I reveal the Rekieta Grift audit, or maybe I won't. We'll see. Maybe we won't hit it.
Anyway, have a good one.
Bye. Fucking hell. These are bad. Beloved Chatter says, thanks for saving your sad, lame stories for us, Nick. Some people really hate Nick. Some people really hate
Even
Nick.
his own chat hates these interludes. Oh my goodness. Embarrassing. You know what? I think I need to go to the bar. I think we need a brief intermission. So I need to go to the bathroom and grab some water. So I'll be right back. But while we're coming, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Be sure to like the stream. We'll get a word from our channel sponsor, the one and only.
Are you tired of drinking alone, or worse, with boring people? Hi Minnesota, I'm Meme McGill, and do you want to experience the kind of atmosphere where the drinks flow as freely as the gossip? Then come on down to Stoney's in Rockville, Minnesota. At Stoney's, we don't just serve drinks, we serve connections. Some legal, some not so much. Need a spot to discuss your latest scheme, or just want to unwind after a long day of avoiding responsibilities? Well then come on down to Stoney's, where the drinks are cold and the secrets are spicier than our famous Ultimate Bloody Marys. Whether you're planning your next big hustle or just looking for a good time, Stoney's is the place to be. We've got pool tables, karaoke nights, and the only thing more colorful than our drinks is our clientele. Hey look, you didn't hear this from me, but did somebody say $2 cans on Thirsty Thursdays? Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? At Stoney's Bar, every night's a wild card, and the house always wins, unless you're buying the next round. Just remember that what happens at Stoney's stays at Stoney's. Well, that is until the next town hall meeting. Just check out all of our testimonials. Stoney's Bar, Rockville, Minnesota.
Got back just in time, innit? Ah, there we go. Did I wash my hands? Oh, I'll have to go back next time. Of course I washed my hands. Come on now. Come on now. All right, so let me see. The next one's a long one. We got a long one. Let's see. Let's see if we got a. Let me see. Get rid of this tab. All right, we got to the question. We need the question chat. This is something I've got to clear some of these tabs up. We don't need this one to bang anything. Save Sonny. What's going on with Sonny? We've got this post from Nick's watching. You can every time you see this little thing down here, it means it's a Nobody Loves Onions membership. So he says in response to Michaelia, I'm not a dog guy. Wish he would have let April take him. Save Sonny. Save the doggo. Oh my gosh. This picture is holy shit. I really feel bad for Sonny. I think I don't feel too good about Sonny. I hope that Sonny's in a better place. Not stuck in that master bathroom, the ensuite bathroom. Able with a 5, bring us one step closer. We just need 9 more. 9 more to hit the goal. Take on Nick's relationship with Flat Broke Gino Bisconte. Do they have a relationship? I don't think so. I think Nick doesn't know anything about Gino. I think he probably would have fucked Gino's wife. Apparently that was he was kind of talking to that. I don't know. I heard there was a rumor that they wanted to add Keanu into their polycule, but Keanu said, "Ooh, no, that's gross." And then she went back to smoking on stream, saying whippets for like 10 hours or something. So I don't know about that. I don't think they have any relationship whatsoever. I don't think they've even met in person. But April was a big friends with Keanu, I guess. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the Devilverse side of things, so I couldn't tell you. All right, let's listen to this one. This is a 7-minute one. This is 7. I told you we got a lot of shit tonight, so I have to clear this out because it's like I can't even remember what some of these are now. This is from February 28th. How Nick Rekieta, my boy Nick Rekieta, kept his kids out of his coke.
Nick is apparently so embarrassed about the cocaine thing, as he should be. The fact that his daughter tested positive, the fact that, he said, "Oh, it was never around kids," and I had to call him out on that. I'm like, well, that's not true.
He's like, that's not true. I did it around kids. Well, why would you say that, you weirdo?
Look,
I don't think Aaron said that, but Nick absolutely exposed his children to cocaine. I don't care what you think. They were doing cocaine in the house. Kids are inquisitive. They like to see what mommy and daddy are doing. That happens to a lot of kids. They walk in on a room like, "Oh shit, what are you doing? We should lock the door." That happens all the fucking time in normal relationships. So when you got 4 adults locking them, well, I don't even know if they had a lock, but sneaking up into the master bedroom, of course kids are inquisitive. Nick was doing coke in his bunker, I'm certain of it, because April was down there and she gets bored, right? And the kids were always bursting in on the streams, like saying, "You damn kids, get to bed." Of course, they're always watching. One of the kids slept down in the basement next to the bunker because they liked being the favorite child, the one that actually tested positive. And not to mention just like it's going to be over the surfaces. They're going to get indirect exposure. And even if Nick's story is true that the government police officer touched the coke, then touched his child's head, that means he exposed his child to cocaine because it's his cocaine. He brought it to his house when he was supposed to be the leader of the household. So it's his fault either way, even if his story is true, which I don't believe. I hope there's a better example. I hope there's a better reasoning, of course, than he actually gave it to him on his own volition. Now, Camelot did imply that Nick would often talk about the medicinal uses of certain drugs, specifically cocaine. So there was a theory that Camelot floated early up. I don't think he should have done this, and I think he kind of regrets doing it actually as well. That maybe Nick was using it as like at-home Ritalin or something, which is just disgusting if true. Anyway, let's see Nick's story about this. But Nick did expose a child to cocaine because he dropped his cocaine bullet that the police found, so we know that existed at least, on Aaron's chair with Aaron's 3-year-old. So even if he didn't expose his own child to cocaine, he exposed other children to cocaine. What if they didn't find that? Sometimes kids just find shit and they're like, "Oh, this is neat. I'll just take this I'll just put this shit in my mouth." The kids do that all the fucking time. Incredibly irresponsible.
The metaphor yesterday of like if you were in your bedroom in the bathroom and he's like, it was just 2 doors away. I said, so by that logic, everyone who takes a shower in a house where children are is around kids nude.
No, like, not even close. Not even close. First of all, the bathroom is a separate room that hopefully you're not doing the drugs in there and sharing the bathroom with the kids or anything. But the children would come to the parents' bedroom because they want to talk to their parents, and the coke was being done on the nightstand, credit cards, things that you carry around with your purse. You know, things like that. April's was found on the scene. It's not even remotely the same. And it's very likely that they were doing it all throughout the house because they want to go down. They don't want to switch from the bunker to the bedroom. They got the kitchen. They can, use the kitchen counter and everything. It's not even close to the same. But kids often do walk in on their parents showering. That is a very common occurrence for any family.
I mean, like Patrick Mapton coming out the gates right now.
But like using that logic, I mean, again, like people are at a club and then people go into the bathroom and do cocaine. Does that mean you're doing cocaine around everyone in the club? Because the club would kick you out.
Well, anyone in the bathroom, yes.
But they knew you were doing cocaine. So I just argue that if the children aren't aware of it, and again, we could argue all day.
Do you believe the kids weren't aware of it? The range of the kids, I think, was from 6 to like 17. The kids are just unaware of drug-fueled parties happening on the daily in the house. There's no way. The kids would constantly walk in on Nick streaming, and he was constantly fucked up while streaming. I mean, in some of the audio files, it sounds like he's actually taking big snifferoos as soon as the camera's turned on when he forgets to mute his mic. They're always walking in there. Come on now. But what about when you're out? Kids like to explore. They like to look for things.
About whether you should be doing cocaine around kids. The answer is no, Nick. But
yeah, here's the thing. We didn't. That's the thing that Aaron is distorting and conflating here, because one of the things we wouldn't do is drugs around the children. Yes, there were drugs in a safe in an ensuite bathroom behind a locked door, or two, as it were, if you will. And when the kids were home, we wouldn't do it, even if Aaron and
no, that's just cope.
April came over. We weren't doing drugs if the kids were there, and we weren't having sex in front of children because
I at least believe that much.
Like, who does all of this stuff? I don't know where they're like, oh, this must have been happening. It's like, you guys are insane. No, oftentimes my parents lived down in Florida, but they have a lake house really close by, and they were here a lot this past year because when our nanny quit, they knew we were struggling to keep up with getting the kids to all their stuff, and it was really stressful. And I talked to my dad. I was like, hey, can you guys be up here more to help out? Kayla's parents were helping out with her siblings who have really young ones, and they needed some babysitting, and they're earlier on in their lives.
I'm sure your parents were happy that you drug them out of Florida in February to come up to Minnesota.
And they like hanging out with their grandkids. They would come up for a week, 10 days at a time, and they'd be like, we'll take the kids, we'll take care of the school, don't worry about it, we got it.
So this is like that.
So why did the nanny quit? This is I got another wee woo coming past my house. It seems like she quit because of degeneracy. I think Nick actually explains his belief, but I don't believe that. But it seems like she was disgusted by the degeneracy and left. And the nanny was like, I think she was with them for 5 years. So some of those children knew her their entire life. And this person, I mean, that's like losing like a family member almost. The nanny probably was with the kids more than the adults, more than Nick himself. If it's a living nanny, especially. At least for the young ones. Right?
We know that 1 week where like April and Aaron were at your house for like 3 or 4 days, and they said they were like snowed in. Yeah, you guys could go out to the store and pick stuff up, but they were snowed in and couldn't get home.
The only thing snowed in was, well, I mean, that's a kind of an easy one, right? It was the noses of the 4 adults.
Yeah.
Like, so that would be like during that time, your kids wouldn't be at the house at all. You're saying they would be at your parents.
Correct. Like, I can't think of any time where the kids were home where drugs were out and being used at all. Like, because.
All right. Couldn't find any time. So Nick will probably go on to tell you that he had the drug safe, which I think is more of a lockbox, would be better described as like a lockbox, but he would always take that drug with him in his car when he went. So the drugs were never alone with the nanny and never alone with Kayla and never alone with April. But when Nick was arrested outside of his house, the drugs in his house were found. And he says that he has the only key for it, but the police were able to find $100 bills with white powder residue, which means they were using coke at the house while Nick was there with the children, because all of the children, except for one that Nick was taking to school, was there, right? Bindle of white coke. They found everything. So Nick's story is just factually inaccurate because the parent, April and Kayla, or at least Nick himself, did a bump before he went to take the kids to school. On the birthday party day. Birthday party, let's celebrate. Oh, the kids are going to be noisy today. Better get a little bump. Going to need a little bump to get started. It's just, this is just lies. It's just headcanon. It's completely disproven by the police reports. Nick was absent. He said there was never drugs around the kids except on the day that they were arrested. Oh, that was the one time, I guess, right? The one time. Brown is
I can say this now. I haven't been able to say any of this for 8 months because I had a legal defense that I needed to exhaust before speaking. I've told the court
and that makes sense.
The drugs were mine. They were in my possession, solely mine, in a locked safe. I'm the only one who had access to it. That's all.
Only one with an access to it. But when Nick was away from the house, the cops just found everything. Oh, wow. Only one with access. He's the only key. Except Kayla and April were in it that very morning. Unlocked. There's nothing in the report that says they had to bust open the safe. It was unlocked and ready to go. Cocaine on April's credit cards that very morning. But Nick was the only one who had the key. Right? Bullshit. Utter fucking bullshit liar.
True. I brought that safe with me when I left the house. I didn't.
Now, this is a good question. How does he explain the positive drug test from the daughter? Well, he doesn't really, but he says that. Well, actually, no, he does explain it, but it's a terrible explanation. He says that the cop touched cocaine, and then the cop touched the kid's hair, and this is on a body cam that he refuses to share. And then, in a test that cannot be reproduced in the lab, and is very dubious at best, he says that the sweat of the hand or the scalp metabolizes it on the skin, and then it sucks into the hair through reverse osmosis or something, like you're marinating a chicken. Who can say? That's his thing. The only expert that he can find is a man that was arrested for running unorthodox cocaine tests, actually, which is interesting.
Leave it home. There wasn't an opportunity for like a kid to get into it. It's a little travel safe. It's like this big.
That's corroborated by Aaron. He said that you would always bring a safe with you. Yeah, everywhere you go.
So,
except on the day that he was arrested. Now, this isn't corroborated by Aaron. The only thing that is corroborated by Aaron is that there was a drug safe. And when I say safe, it's like I said, it's like a little travel lockbox. So yeah, that part is corroborated, but this taking it everywhere is just factually inaccurate based on the arrest. I mean, the very raid day.
People may wonder like about why you do stuff like this. When you're a public person, sometimes you get swatted. We've been swatted several times. I didn't want to be swatted while not home and have the nanny let the cops come in the house to verify that everything's okay. And then the cops decide to start peeking around and find something that makes them want to search for or whatever. Like once you can.
Wouldn't you have like a gun cupboard or something, or a safe to keep them in, like something that's bolted shut? Because I assume even if you got swatted, the cops aren't just going to go through your like large locked gun safe. And he even had a vault. He has a literal vault in his house. That's where he streams from it. It's actual converted vault. You could lock that in such a way that you would need like a special ops team to break into it. But he refuses to do that. It's like, well, I don't want the cops coming around. The nanny just lets them in or something. There was no nanny.
Consent to a cop looking around your house, they can, and yes, an adult, any adult in your home can give that consent. If they do that, the cops can go all through the house looking around to make sure no one's dying. So I didn't ever want to have anything at home for something like that to happen. Like,
wouldn't it be safer to have a locked safe at home? I don't think the cops are going to open your locked safe versus in the car. Like when
believe
you
me,
travel,
they will. They'll
like
open
a
your locked
canine,
safe.
but a canine would.
I mean, if you've got the key, though, like, are they bringing all the power tools to this false swatting attempt? I don't believe this story. Like the cops show up with like, first of all, the cops already know that he's a target for swatting, so the chance of them actually swatting him is reduced. But after the first one, you call them up and say, hey, look, I'm an internet person. These people are messing with me. Next time there's a swatting attempt, knock on the door and we'll just confirm everyone's safe, okay? This has actually happened to Nick in the past, so he knows that the chance of him getting swatted and having the entire house searched is very low, because you just like someone comes to the door and says, no, we don't have that. We don't have that. But even if you have like a proper gun vault or a safe, and Nick did have like ARs, right? Am I right? Is that what I'm not the biggest gun guy. I would assume he would have a safe for them. Although the I think the AR that was found under his bed just had the lock through the chamber mechanism, you know.
be able to alert to like a safe with drugs in your car if you ever got pulled over or something. I'd be more worried about that.
If you look into how canine stuff works, they have to suspect there's drugs in your car. Like the canine.
How can the car be more secure than the house? It just makes no sense. Can't the cop just say, "Oh, I smelt something funny," and just go through it? I mean, I know they're not supposed to, but that's the reality.
Canine indications absent the knowledge of the officer doing the test are 50-50. It's a literal fucking coin flip. Dogs are shit at actually finding drugs. Cops know where people hide.
Wait, do I still have it up? Dogs are shit. Sorry. I feel bad for Sonny. Dogs are shit. Oh my goodness. What does he mean by that? Look at the cold, steely eyes and the look of desperation in Sonny's eyes. Holy shit. Hashtag save Sonny. Dogs are just dogs don't know shit. I think dogs are pretty good, right? They're pretty good. They're like literally man's best friend.
Drugs indicate the dogs indicate there, and then the cops look there. Like that's been shown in several studies on law enforcement. So I wouldn't worry. Like I don't get too worried about canine stuff, and they're not going to bring a canine unit up to your car unless they suspect something. But you know, you just have a travel safe sitting in the trunk of your car. Like it's not up with you, and you're not driving intoxicated or anything like that. You're not going to.
Nick would routinely stream until 5 a.m. in the morning, plastered drunk, and then have 3 hours to sober up before driving his kids to school. So he clearly doesn't think very well or care about their safety that much. In fact, he's already had one crash with a child in the car because he was too stupid to take the advice of the dealership guy when he bought the Mustang. He drove it home on icy roads before it had proper tires. They literally went through a fence the first time he took it off the lot. And the child, I think it was the same child, right? The 9-year-old? They were in the car that day. Like, thank God no one was hurt. They went through a fucking fence, though. It's like, oh. Anyway, never mind.
Be in any sort of danger, and it's much more concerning of me that like a kid would get into something, or the nanny would get into something, or the police would end up at our house due to something that most people wouldn't have to deal with. It's a different type of concern than a normal human who doesn't get swatted all the time.
Is that did they take the safe? Did they take the safe? Like, do you have that now, or is it gone?
I do not have the safe, but it is not on their inventory list. I don't really know where it is at the moment.
All right.
Just another pound of cocaine that disappeared off the face of the evidence room. Fred Robinson.
No, but the 2 ounces from the top of the fridge did disappear. It's gone.
You were doing coke off the.
There's no way the kids could get into contact with a coke. It's right inside the safe. It's in the bathroom. It's locked in the safe. I'm the only one with the key. There's no way. Well, the coke on top of the fridge disappeared. Huh? What? Now, when he says fridge, he's not talking about the kitchen fridge, I will say. He's talking about the fridge in the bedroom. Okay, they have a secondary small, apparently it was like a gift or something, like a little like kitschy little fridge or something. It's like, well, all the drugs are in the safe that only I have the key to, except for the stuff that disappeared from the top of the fridge, I guess. Oh, so it's just lying around there in case you need an emergency bump. You don't have enough time to get the keys for the safe. Holy shit, I forgot about that. Like a lot of these clips, I saved them because I think there's something good in each one of them, but I can't remember exactly what, because like, this one's only from February 28th, but holy shit, it's like, no one could ever, my wife could never, I mean, I'm the only one with the key. I mean, unless they went for the emergency on top of the fridge coke. That just disappeared. Okay, buddy. Holy shit.
Fridge?
Oh, no, the bullet on was, they said the bullet on the nightstand, that was on top of the fridge. All right.
With April's credit card.
Oh! So the bullet that Aaron said is the one that he dropped on the bed. Oh, sorry, the couch that Aaron's 3-year-old was around. That was also there. Okay. Holy shit. Marvel at the holes in this man's Swiss cheese brain.
Yeah, that cocaine, I'm not joking. It's not in Discovery anywhere. There are no photos of that. They're on body cam footage. They open it up and you can see that it's full of cocaine. They close the thing back up, but they're running out of drug tests, the field tests, and so which are expensive. So they're like, we'll just take it back to the state.
There's so much loose drugs around his house that the cops are running out of drug tests. There's so much shit lying around Nick's house. And we went through the entire document, so we know all the stuff that was found, right? But it's like been a while. It's been like 9 months. There's so much shit around Nick's house. The cops are running out of field drug tests. It's like, well, no, it's only in the safe. It's only in the safe, except for everything else around the house. Oh, like the emergency little bullet we keep in the bathroom water tank, and go take a piss. You get a little bit of a bump. You go downstairs. You lift up under the plates in case you pretend to be cleaning the. Holy shit! Running out of a drag test is that's a bad look. Holy shit!
And test it.
Yeah.
I got
out of field test is not a good thing when they're looking through your house.
Even these guys, they can't understand how cheese-brained this man is.
I got the pictures of all of the recovered stuff, and that exhibit, it's exhibit 2. There's no cocaine. There's no cocaine associated with that bullet. It's nowhere to be found. It's amazing. Like there's allegedly 2 ounces of cocaine in that thing, and it just vanished. Like maybe up a nose or 2. I don't know. I have no idea.
Wouldn't that be funny, or not funny, but sad, if the reason that Nick gets off with this is because the cops decided they wanted to have a bit of a bump themselves? Wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
Did you?
Let's see what we should go to next. Aaron Eamholt's poor kids. This is a quick one, but again, we're going to start speeding these up. Although
Aaron can fuck up.
At this rate, we may not meet the goal, chat. We might not meet the goal. We'll see. We need 9 more to hit the goal.
But that you hurt my kids bullshit. He should have never introduced her into their lives as a forever mommy, and he moved on to another woman as soon as she left. He damaged her more. Yeah, and now those kids are intertwined, and these households are intertwined, and the kids hang out with Slam P. It's just like these poor kids, and unfortunately, they're
okay. So Aaron's kids, poor Aaron's kids, they're being exposed to these women that are leaving their lives, like the 2 women that left their lives in Nick's own instances, the nanny and second mummy. Like this second mummy shit goes both ways, both for Aaron's kids with Kayla and Nick's kids with April.
Or fortunately, they're getting old enough to where they're going to start seeing their father for what he is. And there's no way, once you get to middle school and high school, like these kids are going to find all this stuff.
So the interesting thing about that
This is the thing. Like Nick says that his kids had no idea about this, and that they had no idea that they would obviously, like, if Nick was showing up to work his stream drunk and high, like he was, there's no way the kids didn't see him, because he always talked about putting them to bed, or like they would come in and have to go away. No, they saw you walk around the house fucking sloshed. Of course they knew. And they can use the internet. And the fact that they can do that maybe means you shouldn't be talking about it. Like I think the eldest son is like 17 going on 18, like maybe this year. All of his contemporaries are going to know about this. This is national news. It was international news. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And he's going to talk about it, and they're going to talk about it, and they're going to find it, because you keep talking about it. If you want something to go away, you just stop talking about it. That's the secret. I mean, you can never really erase this from the internet, but you can certainly reduce it.
I see a lot of people say this similar stuff about me, like, oh, your kids are gonna see this or whatever. Like, my kids know about everything, because except the relationship, they actually don't. They don't know about the relationship.
They will.
Aaron made it sound, yeah, they will, because I'll tell them when they're old enough to understand, like, what.
Is this a good thing, though? Is this what you want to raise your children to know? Nick used to talk about the virtues of monogamy and how you can never raise children in a polycule and shit. And I have a clip about, like, I have the intro I used to have, the 40-second one. And he's like, no, I'm just going to tell them that I was a dirtbag cheating on their mother. I'm just going to, they'll understand. I'm like, look, daddy got bored of your mummy's wide fucking hallway of a vagina after she's body was destroyed because she popped out 5 kids. Nick's words, not mine. Nick said this, not me. I'm just repeating what he said. So yeah, I went to go steal another man's hot younger wife because she was easily gullible and easy to bang. Of course. Why wouldn't I do that? I'm a high-earning individual, even though your grandparents gave us everything that we have. I deserve it. I was smart enough to be born to oil parents, or oil grandparents. Holy shit. And like, it's one thing to teach this to your sons, but to show that, like, he's raising daughters. Is this what they're going to look for when they get older? Like, Nick would talk about, like, oh, I think OnlyFans is a great profession. Do you want that? Do you want your kids to see that? Maybe they'll take your advice. It's disgusting. Like, honestly, if you teach your children, either if you're a man, like if you teach your sons that it's fine to just fool around in the fucking mother of your children, or if you teach your daughters that they should take so little self-respect to themselves that they should check up with another chick because they're not good enough to get their own man to themselves. It's disgusting parenting.
what's going on. But Aaron talks about like how this was going on around the kids, but it really wasn't. Like we went through huge lengths to make sure that the kids just saw us with two friends, because that's what we thought was appropriate at the time. We didn't know.
No, don't stop it. Stop it. Mummy and our friend, sister wife is just going to stay in the Minnesota King tonight. We're just friends. We're having a sleepover, kids. You got a 17-year-old in the house. A sleepover. And apparently he's railing April for 3 fucking hours until her pussy bleeds. Oh, yeah, that'll be easy to keep quiet all fucking night because you're too desensitized from the coke. Oh, the kids they'll never know. They'll never figure this out. Nobody's the white. We're so sneaky. Like, he's not even sneaky enough to do drugs on his own live stream when he knows he sets the camera up. He does everything. He can't even hide that from the chat. You think you can hide people that see him for like 2 hours a day when he was streaming? You think you can hide this from people he's seeing 24 hours a day? No fucking chance.
Like where this is going to go, how long it was going to last. You don't know anything. Again, it's not something that we normally do. So my kids know all about the arrest and the drugs. They got interviewed about it.
So they know everything.
They're fine. Like they know about it. They know, and I'm not a weird guy who like
kids are resilient, by the way. Like a lot of great people come out of shitty households, and that's what this is. And it's shitty because of Nick's decisions, and he has to live with that for his entire life. So it's not like they're completely going to be like deadbeat or anything. I think they can do quite well for themselves. A lot of kids come from really shitty situations. That's the only real white pill in this entire story. But when you say they're fine, that's not true. That's not true. They will remember this forever. Like I think I've got like one of these threads that I had saved. I think it was this one actually. So this person, Morning Cloak, said, "Something occurred to me earlier while listening to Sean's stream. The arrest event horizon was the 9-year-old's birthday. Did they have any sort of birthday celebration planned for her? Or did they forget about it because they were so drugged out? She didn't have to have a big birthday bash with a lot of friends over. A small family party would have sufficed. Was she even going to have a cake on her birthday? Or was she going to bed hungry and stinky again? What if that comes out? The body cam comes out. They go inside. They just forgot the birthday fucking party. I didn't even consider that. The kids won't remember. Yeah, maybe the kids never remember their birthdays. They never remember that shit. Holy shit. Stinky, hungry birthday. SpaghettiOs, or 2 cans of SpaghettiOs tonight. It's your birthday. Pathetic.
Eyes to his kids. Like I told them about this stuff at age appropriate levels. But that's because I have been a full-time dad their entire lives. Up until being arrested, I'm not only a full-time dad, but a work-from-home dad for the past 7 years. And then the several years before that, like my office was my own office that I went to. My kids have been around me tons. So they know me, and we actually have a real relationship.
So then they know everything. Do you understand? If they're around you all day, you're with them all day, they know everything about you, then they know about the relationship, they know about the drugs. He's like, well, they're with me all the time, but they don't know what I'm doing with this other bitch that I'm fucking for 3 hours a day because my dick is so desensitized from the coke. Okay, buddy.
Aaron doesn't.
Well, this is a thing that came out during all this. Aaron does it. His new insult now is like, I guess, making fun of like people who don't have kids. Like, you don't even have kids. It's like, Aaron, one of your kids you've never been a full-time father to. Like, she was literally born after you were divorced. Another one of your kids was, I think, 1 year old when you got divorced. So you've literally been a part-time father their entire cognizant life on this planet. And the other one, the vast majority of her life, you haven't been in her life full-time. And then if anyone else says anything about his kids, he went into details 2 weeks ago about parent-teacher conferences and how bad he's doing at reading or whatever, but the teachers complimented on their parents. Like, just in intimate detail. He can't even make up his mind, like what's appropriate for the air and what's not. He changes day to day.
I found that hilarious that he said, it was so telling. He said, that's the first time a teacher has ever complimented
we were good parents. Yeah.
On being good parents. It's like, oh my God, it's embarrassing.
The man that was arrested and had his children taken away for 77 days. Well, oh my goodness, Aaron, that's embarrassing. I feel bad for you, Aaron. Aaron, like I said, all I know about Aaron is from court filings, basically. So he seems like a piece of shit too. but I've always described Aaron as the shiniest piece of shit in the bowl. That's a good description, I think, in the Minnesota 4.
The other thing, just as an example of Aaron's parenting, his ex-wife had to get a restraining order against his current wife so that he would pick up and drop off his own kids. That's the difference between those two restraining orders, between Aaron's and April's, was Aaron was the one who had to do the pickup and drop off under the restraining orders because April had been doing them before. And here's why.
April was a chore wife. April was a chore wife.
I know exactly why. It's because the pickups would have impacted his show start time. And not only did April tell me that, Aaron told me that.
We know that. We know that for a fact because it's evening shows. He would change the time during the summer because the kids would be there later or something.
I mean, the reality is that you typically have to go to work. The man has a job. He doesn't have his entire life paid for by his grandparents' oil money. Now, of course, if you can work from home, there's obviously some allowances there, but he had to go to fucking work like every other fucking parent. Is that what you're saying?
Like that. He explicitly said it.
Oh my gosh. All right, let me see. Don't need this one anymore. Don't need that one anymore. I mean, I actually do have some secret footage of why Aaron and Nick having their secret interaction. This is some very real interaction of Nick and Aaron the first time they met, and this is why Nick is so butthurt about the entire situation.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Sorry for what? Our daddy taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks, especially since they're such good size and all.
Yeah, I see that. Your daddy gave you good advice.
It gets bigger when I pull on it. Sometimes I pull on it so hard, I rip the skin.
Just like April for 3 hours, right?
Well, my daddy taught me a few things too, like how not to rip the skin by using someone else's mouth instead of your own hands.
Will you show me?
I'd be right happy to.
There's some secret, never seen before footage of Nick and Aaron. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got here. I'm trying to find a good one. I need something silly. I need something silly to kind of. I need some more meme. I need some more memes. Send me your memes to break up the seriousness of some of these clips. This one's 3 minutes, so this should be a quick one. Again, we'll go to 1.25 speed.
See what that fucking drunk cunt said about me today?
Now look, I don't.
I didn't even say it.
Having you lie again about your drinking habits. Are you drinking? Are you drunk?
No, I can drink right now. I'm legally allowed to drink right now. I'm on no restrictions at all. I have found that I don't really enjoy whiskey like I used to. I don't know if it's like a subconscious thing where my brain's trying to prepare me for the fact that I'm not going to be able to drink for.
It could be that he's experiencing guilt. Oh, this fluid that helped destroy my life. I don't like it anymore. What could be? Maybe it's because the government's about to say I can't drink it for a year. That must be it. No, maybe it's because you feel fucking remorse. But it's such an alien feeling to him that he doesn't know how to rationalize it. So basically, to understand this, Nick is allowed to drink until his sentencing, and then they'll probably give him probation for a year. And he won't be able to. He'll have to do like monthly tests or something like that. So he can drink now, and he has had drinks, but he's not currently drunk, and he claims that he hates it.
Once I'm sentenced for like a year to longer. I have no idea how long it's going to be. So I haven't really enjoyed alcohol much lately. I've drank plenty, but I haven't enjoyed it that much.
Maybe it's like a sense memory. Maybe you've locked.
Oh yeah, I drank heaps of alcohol recently. What? Okay.
The taste of whiskey to this entire experience now.
Yeah,
you just don't want anything to do with any of it.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because I really enjoyed whiskey, but oh well.
But no, when
I'm
you
not
have something for a
intoxicated.
while, you kind of lose the taste for things you don't have for a while. It's like if you kick sugar for a little bit, you can't really eat it that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
It's like when the government arrests you and takes your kids away for 77 days, and they don't let you eat Twinkies for like 5 months. You lose a taste for Twinkies. I guess what that is, the sugar, right?
Just real quick, there's been a lot of projection this week about you and your alcoholism and drinking. And you've made statements before about Aaron. I think you said last night in my chat that Aaron used to start drinking at 9 a.m.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong.
When they arrested the Rekieta crime family, it was around 9-10 a.m. in the morning, and they already had all the coke out. They had already had the cocaine on the credit cards and the night tables. So yeah, Aaron, I totally believe that Aaron drinks at 9 a.m. He gets one of those Stoney's Ultimate Bloody Marys. Actually, I could go for a Bloody Mary right now. Actually, that'd be nice. I might make one tomorrow night. Actually, I only recently gained. Like I think when I made the Stoney's commercial, that gave me a taste for Bloody Marys. I didn't like them previously, but yeah, I totally believe that Aaron's drinking his Bloody Marys at 9 a.m. in the morning. But like, the Rekieta crime family is on record of doing drugs early in the morning. So, what's the own here?
There are plenty of days where I started drinking at 9 a.m. too. I was usually like, if I had a
holy shit. You're doing this is so fucking easy. He's doing the work for me. Like, yeah, Aaron starts drinking at 9 a.m. I mean, I do that as well, but I mean, Aaron, he's a ridiculous character, that Aaron boy. I mean, who doesn't enjoy a 9 a.m. drink though? Whoa, buddy.
Bad day.
About Aaron drinking, yeah, like, so he would drink at your house, like your whiskey, he would just start pouring it at 9 a.m.
No, he would
stream in 2
typically
days.
April would go out and
2
buy
days,
him a
2 or
proper
3
beer. I hate beer, so April would go buy beer. Michelob Golden, I believe, was one of the common ones, and he would.
So April does have some redeeming qualities. She's willing to go out and buy her man a beer at 9 a.m. in the morning. A lot of old people dying near my house tonight.
He would drink at 9 a.m. This is usually at his house. He wasn't usually at my house at 9 a.m. right? Like, because he was usually doing a show.
So they would take, is this true? Like they would take 2 cars over to your house so that he could leave and go do a show and April would just stay there?
Mm-hmm.
That's so insane. You live an hour away. Like they would bring 2 gas guzzling trucks.
And I would tell him over and over, like, you can just use my studio. I have a giant industrial green screen that I've never actually gotten around to using, but it's like, we could hang the green screen, put your Steel Toe logo behind you. No big deal. Like, we could do that for you. And you could just broadcast from here. Like, why leave? And my setup is.
So Nick can't comprehend the idea that maybe somebody wants to get away from him for at least a couple hours a day, or because the reality is, yeah, this is 1.25 speed. The reality is that men need their own space. Nick's like, I can't understand why anyone would leave this den that I've created, this den of iniquity I've created for all of my my harem of cuckoldry. It's like, men need to get away. You know, we need our space from time to time. Does he really not comprehend this because he doesn't go outside of his house except to buy more coke and get hand jobs from the Twin Cities? No, men need to get their own space, and you have to, you know, you feel like you go to a place and do your work. You're usually more productive as well, obviously. But he's like, for this is like completely anathema to Nick's brain. He's like, I can't believe anyone would leave this. This is perfect. I've got 2 bitches and all the coke I can snort. Why would you ever leave? What more could there be on the outside world? Separation anxiety. Oh my goodness.
My setup is a giant tax write-off, right? And and I was very successful.
Tax-free.
And so my camera is like a $5,000 camera. And
that's true. I think we have the same camera more or less. It's a Sony A7 series. Kind of a silly camera to use a webcam, but I was just too lazy to buy a proper one. And they already had the camera. Although Nick bought his specifically for live streaming, which is very stupid. And for the better part of it was like a year, he didn't even buy the charging cable for it, which is pretty funny.
Mics, I've like 10 different
we
audio.
Get it. You have a trust fund. We get it.
That's a funny one. But like I have all this stuff. I have a way better monitor setup. Well. Like there's way more real estate to use. And he just was like, no, I need to go back to my shitty two screens and my 720p camera.
Oh, camera shaming the man. So he just likes the simple setup. He likes the simple setup. All right, what else we got here? This is actually a Will Heron clip, and Will Heron's in the chat, so we'll play this one. Rekieta announces that he and Kayla have been hit with a subpoena. Reunion time. So if you're unaware, this is a quick one too. The Minnesota 4 is getting back together for their trial. Let's take a look at this one.
You heard it here first.
I don't know what stream this happened on. It was apparently on the pretty antisocial chat.
First, I know. Give me a
need
sound
to go,
drop.
do we need to go to Minnesota? Like,
I don't know. Should we? Should we open up a goal on YouTube?
Hit the goal.
I'm not gonna pay to go to Minnesota.
God bless the goal.
Oh shit! All right,
Oh.
hold on.
I never get to use that one.
Oh,
well.
Does this woman have a picture of Aaron behind her? Is that real, or is that edit? Why does she have a bunch of Aaron pictures behind her? Who is this person? Why does she have 2 pictures of Aaron? Oh, see, I see where Will always sneaks like his image in there somewhere. He's very sneaky when I found it.
There
It's
it
like a game
is.
of Where's
So
Waldo.
we have not only Gino and Keanu being subpoenaed to Aaron's trial, but April, who was subpoenaed yesterday, and now we know Rekieta is as well. I don't know if he can say this. He may not be able to. I don't know. But I'm assuming Kayla will obviously also be subpoenaed since this has. I mean, she's the main subject.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. Should we? Oh, also Kayla. Thank you.
Oh shit, son. All right, hold on. Let's see here.
Man.
Oh yeah, it's not
This
in
is
the
gonna-
system yet, so this is definitely breaking news.
It's going to be the
So this is, I think most people that are following the thing quite closely, that's about all we need to play for that one, I think. But basically, all of the Minnesota 4 will return for the first time ever, the reunion special, in the courtroom for the revenge porn charge of Kayla versus, I guess it's State versus Aaron. So they'll get to see him, everyone. The starstruck lovers. It'll be the first time, allegedly, that they'll see Kayla. Aaron will see Kayla for the longest time, and also that Nick will see April, allegedly. But unfortunately, chat, don't think we're going to hit the goal. It ends in 14 minutes. Oh, no. I'll extend it to the end of the stream, but if we don't get those extra, I'm not going to show the YouTube earnings. I know some people want to see it, but I gotta be hard here. I want to show it. I want to show it, but if I don't stick to my gumption, I can't. Otherwise, no one will take me seriously. So if you want to know how much money I grifted off this situation, we need 9 more chats. That's the only way it's going to happen. All right, what's this one? Nick Rekieta's lying. I don't know if I want to watch an Aaron chat right now. Like the Aaron ones are brutal to get through. The Aaron ones are a bit brutal to get through. All right, the crooked. We'll do this one.
So it's
Aaron Eamholt's insecure and has a crooked steel toe. I think this is about the kickstand. We'll see what this one is. Been there, done that. Says my second contribution to the goal. We just need 8 more. 8 more if you want to see how much greedy money I collected, because that was my only incentive. No, I would have done it for free, honestly. But I did. Your boy did pretty well. We'll say your boy did pretty well. All right, let's go 1.25 speed on this one as well.
No, so the him holding his dick story was so funny. Aaron is super insecure about being naked, and
no. 8 more what? So the goal is we got to hit 20 of this color or higher, and if we hit that, you get to see my PP, my PowerPoint presentation, where I break down how much money I made from the entire since the saga began. That doesn't. Sorry, that's too low. Unfortunately, it needs to be teal or green or whatever. But thank you. Maybe I'll count it. If we get to 19, I'll accept it. We'll see. 12K is your guess? Who can say? I can't give away any form of information.
He's shitting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If he's shitting in private, he's like, "Oh God, I got to get these clothes on." But no, he's super insecure about being naked around people. I don't know if you know this, but when you're on cocaine, like you want to be naked all the time. Or well,
I don't know that. I don't know that, by the way. But okay. Also, Abel, pitch again, bring us one step closer to the goal. Says, my higher up drunk mum bought me all the beer at the bar last night, so here's another. Thank you very much. That's their 3rd super chat. Much appreciated. Will I show you my spoon collection? No, unfortunately, that's with my family. That's only, I don't have that anymore. That was only when I was a child.
I don't know. And everybody seemed to accept him. And so I'm standing around the bathroom with Kayla and April, and we're all just naked doing coke and stuff, like, because listening to music. It's a big bathroom.
My
and
second
we're just
time,
hanging out.
12K.
And he walks up
Thank you very much.
naked, which is shocking because I've never had ever seen him naked.
Now, was he just cupping his nuts, or did he also have his hand across his tip?
No, he just had
like
one hand,
like Venus.
Yeah.
He had
the Venus de Tolo. Oh my goodness, disgusting imagery. I totally believe this one though. Robert Lawrence says, "Gay Nick." People want to see. They want to see the PP, the PowerPoint presentation. Getting there. Just need if we count this blue. If we count this blue one, we need 19. So we need 4 more, and then you get to see the PP. Okay. The money meme made off Nick drama will make him a thousandaire in New Zealand. Perhaps we'll see. We'll see.
He had one hand holding his button down, and he walks up and he says, he takes his hand off and he says, "See, this is why I don't really like being naked." And then he went in this thing about how he's a grower. You know, I was like, what are you fucking talking about?
We're all growers.
Do you believe this story? I mean, I could see it. I could definitely see it. It's such a weird story. Like, Nick spends all day talking about Aaron's cock. Like for 4 hours a day, he's just talking about Aaron and Aaron's cock. That's why I played that gay love clip, because that's actually what's happening. Ben that does that says suffer himself with 10.5k. Perhaps. Pretty close to that goal, chat. The timer's almost up. 10 minutes left on the timer. The YouTube goal. God bless the goal. Although I'll count them after the timer runs out, because I put unlimited time on it, but YouTube doesn't allow that.
I hope it grows when you
and we're sitting there, and I'm just dumb. I'm like, dude, nobody
Derek
gives a
Crow.
shit. Like,
I don't really care about the
I'm
goal.
standing
They
around
haven't
here
been
naked.
generated.
No one
Thank you
cares what you look like at all. But he was just so fucking uncomfortable, and it was pretty funny to me the whole time, because I was
to get
nice
involved
to
in that
him.
situation and be shy about your stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how you could, honestly, but
yes,
I was
will
always trying to
count
be
large
encouraging
ones.
him, like,
Thank you very
no,
much for that
guys,
fiver.
fine.
Can we
Like,
finish it with this big one?
you're
Yes.
okay. Like, stop worrying about it. Why do you even? What do you care? Like, your wife doesn't care. No one cares.
Yeah, she's over
it. So, like, you're fine. You're just a normal person.
Kuma with a big 200 knock says, so we're unlocking content now, like some shitty ass loot book. Yes, but only for this stream in particular, because this was the Grift themed reveal of a Grift themed thing. I'm not gonna do this all the time. Only if it's like Grift related. Okay, it's Grift adjacent content, but big generosity coming in from the stream in the last 10 minutes. I can see why Aaron does this every fucking day. So fucking annoying. Another win for the copium with a 2. Thank you very much. Mr. Moshi, 5 Australian says N. Is anyone going to follow this up with a... Never mind. But yeah, looks like we hit the goal, chat. We hit the goal. Goal achieved. You unlocked this. Now I have to tell you how much money I made talking about Nick. I'm a bit nervous about it because... well, I guess you'll find out. Hey, come on, guys. Be good in the chat. Yeah, you can't just post letters without money. Okay. Show PP. We'll do it after. Do you want to do it after this clip or the end of the stream? When do you want it? When do you want the PowerPoint presentation reveal? It's pretty short. No, it's like it's kind of a thing, like, because it's kind of bad to reveal the grift, because there's inevitably going to be some people that are like, well, of course he just did this for money, and that's true. I did this for money and fun, but I would have done it for free. Post it? No. Well, I mean, now we'll do the end of this clip, and then we reveal the PP.
Insecure about being naked because I never fully went through puberty, and I'm a grown man with a hairless baby fat boy body and a button dick.
Oh my god!
Not
it seems to me. It seems like from Aaron. I think Aaron would probably have a regular. Like, there's nothing unusual about it, is what you've said. But
there is,
just
but I'm not going to
insecure
talk. I mean, there is something unusual about it, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Shut the fuck up! You're not. I'll kick you off this show right now.
He's not going to talk about Aaron's cock, like he's not going to talk about his own court cases.
You better open your mouth.
Weird. That's never mind. No. See, unlike Aaron, I know how to not throw my load in one fucking.
You're saying there's something abnormal about his penis?
Yes.
Is he uncircumcised?
No.
Does it have an elbow?
Uh-oh.
Oh no! You're saying there's a nodule or a protruding pustule or
no, we'll call it more than a bend.
Can you
if
you were
remember Deuce Bigelow? Remember the detective played by Dennis Leary and Deuce Bigelow?
Not really.
No, nobody saw that.
No, then no one should. But he's talking about his dick, how it's like narrow and it bent at the end like a kickstand. I don't know the direction of the bend.
So you're saying it's like a tire iron or a water pick or something like that. It's
not
bendy
just
straw.
It's not just a curve.
It's a crazy straw. He's got a crazy straw penis.
All right. So according to Nick, is this? Am I reading this right? So this is Aaron. This is Aaron. Okay. He's got his. Wait, no. His glasses are like. Oh, I fucking don't know how to draw glasses. Does Aaron have like a mustache? Right. I don't know. This is Aaron. This is Aaron. This is Mr. Steal Your Girl. Apparently he's got like a kickstand third leg. Is that what Nick is trying to describe? This is a weird thing to say. I don't know about it. I don't know if you should be saying this about holy shit. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Why does he pays money to go on this podcast and talk about Aaron's dick for 2 hours, and then he's in chat for another 2 hours a day? Like, this man is obsessed with his gay lover that's left him. All right, then I have to show the PP presentation. Twice Stan with the 5 says, "Are you a grower or a shower?" The internet wants to know. The internet will never know. Okay, that's not going to happen. So post your while I load up the presentation. Post your predictions in the chat. What do you think I made? And we'll go through the PP right now. I successfully grifted. I don't like doing it, but people recommended that I did. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll turn off the cats for this, actually. How do I do this? I'm not showing. I don't want to reveal my thing before it's exposed, right? All right, that's there. Slideshow. All right. Unfortunately, the GIF that I wanted to play isn't working on this one. Okay, like that, like this. Okay, we'll turn off the cats brief. The cats will make their return. Okay. All right. The chat's not going to be on stream, but I'll be reading it all the way. I don't want to. Yes, I don't want to blow my PP load too early. All right. Here we have it. Wait, how do I do it? All right. The Rekieta audit, also known as, or how I learned to stop worrying and learn to love the grift. And we've got our necky boy there. 3,000. That's a good guess, but not right. You need a little bit higher than that. Whee! All right. It has been 289 days since the Coke stream. Look at what a Coke can do to a man. Look how young and fresh he was, even a year ago. Holy shit! This is actually like a really good, like maybe Nick should do anti-drug talks. It's been almost a year. It's getting on the anniversary of the Coke stream. He does look better. I will say that Nick looks healthier. It's nice that he's put on some weight. One question, the most important question remains, chat. Where is Sunny? Is Sunny okay? Sorry. This wasn't a very long I had to add some fluff into this presentation. Where's Sunny? We do put hashtag save Sunny or SS for short in the chat if you want to see what happened to Sunny. We want him to be okay. All right. First question in the Grift breakdown. I'll ask you, this would be like kind of like a game, kind of like 20 questions or no, like Jeopardy or something. What do you think was the largest earner? We'll go from lowest to highest. So YouTube earning breakdowns are made out of memberships, ad revenue, and super chats. Now, it's important to make a distinction that the gifted memberships count as a super chat for the purposes of YouTube analytics. Just give the total? No, I'm going to edge this. I'm going to edge this PP as long as I can. Those first few streams were big. They were big in advertisers because they had a lot of views, but they actually didn't get that much in super chats. I think the first stream that I did only earned about $100. It was actually quite small. The lowest amount was from, hold on, did I do this right? Memberships only made up, this is new members to the stream. Memberships only made out 8.6% of the actual earnings. Ad revenue made up 43.3% of the total earnings of the streams. And then, of course, super chats made up 48.1% of the Rekieta Grift efforts. And then you've got the total earnings, which is kind of surprising to me, honestly. But there's people in chat, even today, they're like saying like, oh, I don't like the ad. I can't believe there's an ad playing during the ads that make up a lot of money. All right. If you want me to turn off these ads, you better start ponying up. YouTube decides where they put the ads. I just turn them on. Okay. But it makes up a significant amount. Now, a lot of these was actually gifted memberships, but I don't have an ability to determine and separate those. The memberships made $606.55. Quite a small portion in the grand scheme of things. Ad revenue, 43% of the stream was made made up $3,072 in ad revenue from just stream watchers and replay watchers. Replay gang, be sure to hit the like and everything like that. Super chats made up $3,410.88. Now, the wise people among you could probably determine that that is actually a total. I do have memberships gifted as counter super chats. It's not small change. It's true. It is not small change. Now, I didn't make the, like, obviously I didn't make the least, but there were people that were grifting, not grifting, but just reporting it, that made a lot more than me. And there were people even on the Baldo washing side that made a lot more than me. But I did pretty good, I think, especially just for talking about one degenerate Coke addict. The total for the grift breakdown, if for anyone that's smart enough to calculate numbers together, was 7,000. So this is what I get. I got $7,089.49. But it is important to note that YouTube does take a cut. And this is my net in my YouTube analytics, which means that a lot of people actually in the chat were pretty close. 17K, 10K, 6K, 6K, 12K, 14K, more than 5K surely, 1,200. If you take out YouTube's total, YouTube takes 30% of every super chat. And I think it's like 50% of all the ad revenue. So actually, I kind of made a mistake in that, I think about it. But an additional 20% comes if it's an Apple YouTube user. So the gross of these chats, of all these streams, would have been in the range of 10,000 to 14,000. But we can't really tell because we don't know it. We don't have any data. How many grams is that? Look, this is even enough to cover 1 month of Nick's habit, okay? So I made it's a fun little hobby. We made quite a bit. It's not an insignificant amount. But it's not like I mean, Nick's made more than that in a day, right? So who can say? How many strong zeros do you get for that? Literally 7,000. That's a good question, actually. How many do I make out of strong zeros? Well, I have to. This is US dollars, by the way. This is US dollars. If we take the maximum amount, 17,000 US dollars to Japanese yen, that's over 2 million Japanese yen. If we divide 2 million Japanese yen by the price of a strong zero, which is 150 yen, that's 13,000. That's 13,000 strong zeros. That's insane. That's insane. That's 13,000 drinks. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I thought that, like, what do you guys think? Do you think that I earned more, or do you think I earned less? Are you surprised? I thought this was quite interesting. I had a lot of fun going through doing the data and everything. It's certainly, like I said, it's certainly not an insignificant amount. I think your boy did pretty good. Now, of course, I would have done this for free, but I'm happy that I was able to grift along with all the friends as well. People say, well done. I'm rich. No. Well, this channel is a hobby channel. We have to remember that. I think I did pretty good. I think we did pretty good. Reminder that Nick tortured raccoons to death. Evil, very true. And Excumer says, are you making more on this channel or the other one we can't talk about? You can talk about it if you want. It's just that it's not worth advertising because the people that are interested in this content won't go to that other channel and they'll just send YouTube wrong signals. I am making much more money on the other channel. Much more. But that's a great question. Although, to be honest, the revenue from the other channel is almost exclusively ad revenue. There's some sponsorship deals as well. Actually, I was just offered an interesting deal by the Tokyo government, and they want to hire me for something in the range of 700,000 yen, which is pretty insane for like 4 days work. But that's like far and away in the future. That'll be later in the year, maybe in autumn or something. We'll see about that. But I hope you enjoyed my little PP presentation. Let's get back into the clips. Oh, my tabs just crashed. Restore the tabs. There we go. Tabs are working again. Everything's going good. Let's continue. Let's continue for a little bit at least. I'll just clear out these things. Here we go. Let's clear those out. I was surprised actually, like when the chat was pretty good. The chat was very reasonable, I think. Of course, you could have pretty much figured this out on your own. But this is the inside data of it. There was one episode that I couldn't get data from because I played the L music. You remember we doing the Rekieta anime tattoo Sakura Wisteria tattoo? Because I was playing the L theme on that, they refused to give me data on it. I get to keep the revenue from it, at least the revenue from the live stream, did not the revenue after it went into replay mode. But they won't even give me the data on how much I earned on that one. But I estimated it to be I just made it like a bit of an educated guess for that one. All right. The dinosaur videos actually do pretty well. Like that's the thing is like a lot of these the channels have been doing pretty good actually. Like I wish I could stream a bit more because I could stream more. It's just I need more topics to talk about and more time to do research. because the streams have been getting good, actually. Let me see. The all-day dino streams. That's one thing I did notice, actually, is that the Nick stuff was like, for earning potential, the ones in the middle did the best. Like for a long, like the most previous, like the last days of the Nick bunker falling down, those ones are almost not very good at all. It kind of surprised me. Like, for example, the Solari stream did like 3 times better than the last Nick stream I did. I was like really surprised, which shows that the audience kind of tired of the information. But I mean, it's been like over a month. When's the Jurassic Park Simulator? That'll be on Saturday or Sunday. There's a rookie numbers. Oh no, there are people that make a lot more than me as well. Absolutely. More memberships. I find that I get less memberships than other people. I think I get more in ad revenue and I get more in super chats. But I see that like Sean, for example, gets a lot of memberships. But he's got like, I want to steal his thing, the pray the gray away, like the gray names in chat. That's so smart. I want to steal that. But I got news for Sean. I'm going to send him a little package and see how well he likes me then. That's actually, I've already got that in the works. I've got it right here, over here. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. Where were all my tabs crashed when I opened that one up? We just finished that one. Let's see. We might do one more. This one's a long one though. Well, actually, all right. I think I'll do 2 more, and then I think we'll start winding things up. Alyssa Clips just dropped another one that's 42 minutes long. Is it good though? Is it from Camelot stream? I don't know if I can watch that. I don't know if I can watch another 42 minutes. Let me have a look if it's anything good. What is it called? I don't see it. All right, there's a 2-minute. We'll play this one. What is this one? This is from Aaron. We haven't done any like Aaron solo content yet. Well, let's see. I'm sure I can stand 2 minutes of Aaron.
JH says, Aaron, did you see Rekieta lie about you on Camelot's birthday stream last night? Was his mouth moving? Then yes, he was probably lying. Look.
Hey, look. If you want to, like, it's his birthday, man. Come on. Happy birthday, cross-dress a lot. That picture. Wait, do I still have that picture? That's so funny. And like, I'm sure. Oh, it's on. I have to open Discord again. I closed it. Like, I know that Camelot's just doing it to be silly. So I don't. It's just like a costume, whatever. Nobody gives a shit. But it is funny. It is funny. Where is that picture gone? Do I still have it? Maybe I don't. Oh yeah, it's here. I actually have it right here. It's just like surprising that in this sector, nobody paid attention to it. Also, he's got like furry fan art as well, which is kind of strange. That's kind of, there you go. So you can post your happy birthday, Camelot. Happy birthday, Camelot. You're ready for Mrs. D. This is obviously just a Halloween costume. Nothing wrong with a little bit of cross-dressing on Halloween, right? I mean, it couldn't be me, but there you go. There you go. Happy birthday, Camelot. All right. What was this clip?
The man is in a hell of his own making. Let him live there. The man's in a hell of his own making. Let him live there. He's now on the Stuttering John Glory Days angle. Somebody wrote to me and said,
I don't understand this reference. I'm already disappointed in this clip.
Nick said he used to make more in a month than you made in a year. And to quote our truth, used to is a rooster in Brewster. What you done for me lately? Cry, get sad.
I mean, that was pretty cringe, but this is true. Nick used to make more than anyone. I mean, he made millions of dollars, but he's not making anything right now.
Cry, get sad. Cry, get sad. Miss Aaron's penis, get sad. Cry, get sad. Miss Aaron's penis, yell about Aaron. Aaron, love Aaron, hate Aaron, love Aaron, hate him. Cry, get sad. I would go back to streaming. I would start streaming again, but I'm so sad. And not sad that he's a fuck up who destroyed everyone around him. He's not sad about what Hurricane Nick did to everyone in his life to humiliate them, except the one that got away, and that's what's bothering him. But
I mean, that is true. Nick is obviously pining for his lost love, which is not April, it's Aaron. I mean, he spent hours talking about the size and shape of his cock. Aaron's cock. Imagine doing that. Talking about the little toe or the big toe. He can't get away from it. Either toe. He needs them.
He's just sad in general. He's sad that everyone picked on him. He's sad that cops picked on him. He's sad that I picked on him. He's just sad. He's sad that when the drugs ran out, his side piece left him. He's just so sad. He really is insecure about the about Aaron being let's just say a bit more physically capable than he is. He really wishes he's on that little mouse thing where he's like, I could beat him up, I could beat him up. Sure. Yes, of course, sweetie. Yes. Because you're a big boy.
Now, I will say that Aaron, I'm very disappointed in Aaron for backing out of the fight because it sounds like that Nick is actually fully agreeing to the fight. Aaron needs to fight Nick. Okay, make it happen. I don't care. It doesn't have to happen at Hackermania. Aaron needs to fight Nick. We need to see that. Like, look, Aaron, if you fight Nick, if you agree to fight Nick, and I know you said you couldn't do it because your lawyer said not to. If you agree, if you beat Nick in a fight, you will get all his super chats and Kayla will come back to you. I promise it. Okay, everything is going to happen good for you. And Nick, if you win the fight, we'll forget about the drugs. Okay, it has to happen. This has to be the conclusion to season 1 of the Rekieta arc.
You're a big boy who's just a little sad. You're just a sad big boy, and you can beat up anybody. Your mommy told you so. So yeah, I heard about it, JH. It was very funny. Look, when someone who doesn't like you is breaking down, losing it, and obsessed over you, great piece of advice here. Keep letting them. And how embarrassing. Like, it's Camelot's birthday. And he's like, do I have to hear about this fucking retard from this other fucking retard again? Is this really what we're going to do?
There's a bit of, I will say, there is a bit of revisionist history from Camelot, because Camelot said when Aaron started putting the fight threats out that there's a difference between physical strength and like fighting ability, which is true because Camelot obviously goes to the gym quite a bit. But he actually said, because I think that Aaron was basically saying like he'd do sparring matches with anyone, and Camelot originally said that he probably wouldn't beat Aaron in a fight because he doesn't train the cardio or hasn't had the experience, which is probably true. Now, obviously, if it was like a benching contest, then Camelot would surely win. But Camelot has since revisioned his own words, and now he says that even Nick would beat Aaron in a fight, which just simply isn't true. Like, I think if it was like Melton versus Aaron, Melton just crushes him. Like when you see PPP smother Warski like that. Nick versus Aaron, Aaron's got to win. I would put money on that fight because Nick has no cardio and he has no experience. I mean, I did have a clip of him where he talks about how he used to do like mixed martial arts, 2 types of kung fu or something. And he also literally says he studied the way of the blade. So sword fighting. But look, even if Aaron is a pathetic fighter who only does it once a week, that's still better than 0 times a week. I would very much believe that Aaron would win that fight. And that's why I need to see it, because I need to gamble. I need to gamble on this. But I think that it looks like Aaron pussied out, which is very disappointing. Or his legal counsel made him put, I don't know. That just no. Just fight it. Just fight. Although we know that the fight would end up just like the end of that Borat film. Not the Borat, it was what is it? Bruno? When they're in the cage match and then they just start kissing, that's what's going to happen. That's unfortunately the end result of that fight. Anyway. All right. Let's look at maybe last one, I think. And then my Rekieta folder will be clear. And I won't have to talk about this guy until maybe a month or 2 months or something. Okay. Got all of it out of our systems. We're back on no Nick April, I guess. Actually, that'd be funny. If we don't talk about Nick during April, that'd be actually kind of funny. All right, 1.25 speed. All right. Nick Recorder calls in hedonism, April swapping, blah, blah, blah. Aaron's insecure, March 3rd. So this is a pretty fresh one.
All right, he's here. Hello.
Oh my goodness! You finally turned your phone on, you bitch.
It's been on, bitch.
And it's not even calling you like a guilted woman.
Well, okay.
Melton leaving Nick on red. Embarrassing. Nick had to pay. He sent in $10. Let me on. I need to talk about my lever.
Okay, it's like Skype, so it may have been like fucked up or like the application may have been hung. I did restart it and now it's working, but it was on.
Oh, I don't know. Like my phone just wasn't working. I don't, my phone must have ran out of battery power or something. I mean, it's Skype or something. Sometimes they just don't want to talk to you, Nick. Come on. They just want to score W's over Aaron, and they know the chat's already revolting against him.
So forgive me. Everything in my life is falling apart today, Nick.
This is a great comment though. Bubba Fat with a 2 says, Nick's MMA experience is mixed marital affairs. That is very funny. And that's probably one of the best jokes I've seen today. Good on you.
You know what it's like to have your whole life turned to shit. You wouldn't know.
I have no idea. But you did say the application was hung, and I know that doesn't describe other people.
Okay, let's get into it. Is this the story you told me? Is this going to be the story you texted me Saturday?
I think so.
Okay,
probably.
Okay. Good, because this is a good one. I mean, this is fucking insane. Please indulge us.
So, to just remind people, I very neutrally and encouragingly talked about Tiny Tadger's little hooked wiener, right? Like I'm a very encouraging person. I used to have body dysmorphia issues. I was worried about how I looked for a long time. And then I can say it now. I didn't used to say it, but I went to Hedonism 2, which has required nudity. Now, that's not a place for everybody to go, but if you're okay with yourself and you're comfortable in your own skin, it's the most fun place on earth.
Hold on,
everybody's happy.
They require nudity?
The most fun place on earth is where you can go and watch Jamaican men plow your wife. And he went there twice. Now, I knew he went there once, and I'm pretty sure he went on wife swapping weekend, which is just outrageous. But does anyone know the event that was going on the second time he went? Because I actually know very little about the second time. Bearing Cab with another 5 says, unrelated, Destiny is saying everything about his case that Nick did about his, including bullying Sean for his weight. Just interesting. You know what's interesting is that Sean was completely right about everything he said about Destiny. Destiny just entered his appearances of his lawyers, so Sean was right again. Funny how that happens. And actually, there's a Sean-related meme I got sent, so which I have to show. I'm legally required to. This is a good one. This is actually quite cute. I like this. Sean's Grub Hub. That's oops, sorry. That was an artist's interpretation of Aaron's kickstand penis. We don't need that anymore. Get rid of that. I like this one. This is a good one. This is a good one. It makes me wish that you can't get good subs in Japan. That's a sad thing. The sandwiches is shit over here. Everything else is great except for sandwiches. Anyway, where were we?
Half the resort, you are required to be nude if you're on that side of the resort. And the other half, you can be nude or you can be clothed. Now, I know that sounds weird at first, but think about it this way. If there's 10 people on the beach who are naked and one guy in khakis, who's the fucking weirdo?
All of them, because they went to a wife-swapping island called Hedonism 2. You're all fucking weirdos. Because you're just there so that Jamaican men can please your wife because you can't without the little blue chew that you had to ask Aaron to go get. Holy shit.
It's the guy in khakis. Like, you can't trust that guy at all.
Yeah,
right?
but
so
I'm not trusting anyone on fucking Hedonism 2. Holy shit.
Still, more people are going to be staring at everybody else than the khaki guy.
No, it's actually very, like, it becomes so unsexualized so fast. Like, it took, because believe me, before I went there, I legitimately had body dysmorphia issues. I was not comfortable with my own skin. It was a huge risk. I went there and it took 4 minutes. And I went, I get it. Nobody gives
I thought he said he lasted 3 hours, but now it's 4 minutes? Okay.
a shit at all. No one's looking at dicks. No one's looking at tits. No one's looking at vaginas.
No one's looking at the chocolate penises on Hedonism 2. I press X to doubt on that one. Isn't that why you go there? I mean, I've never been there. I'm never going to go there. What are you talking about, my man? Liar.
On the nude side, you're typically in a pool, so like half your body's underwater anyway.
I wish I had that George Costanza clip. I was in the pool. I was in the pool. I was in the pool. You don't understand. It was cold.
And most people, like, you're not like looking down into the pool.
Okay,
so,
quick question.
We actually watched the hedonism advertisement video where they had that like a very curvaceous woman walking around, and there was like the sex chat and everything. Yes, you are looking at people at hedonism too because you go fuck random people. That's the point. Now, you're not going to get the most attractive people at those places because you know why, but it is what it is.
Question: is the staff nude? Like the people who bring you drinks, the bartenders?
No, the staff is not nude, but you have to realize like how many naked people they see constantly. Their entire life is nudity. They're in like island attire. Like
I'm happy. I don't want the guy making my drinks to dingle his dangle in it, if you know what I mean. And I don't want the woman making my bed to be rubbing her crab riddled crotch on my pillows.
Right. And they're Jamaican, and like aside
Even
from
worse.
Jamaican sprinters or whatever, Jamaican people are by and large not an attractive group of people. They do again outside of Olympic athletes and like peak performance people. You're talking about a population that is generally poor, malnourished, and fat.
So it's
Jamaican people are not attractive. Nick Rekieta, 2025. Holy shit. He sounds so disappointed. When I booked it, like, rings up management, you promised me chocolate delicious men. Where are my mahogany gods? Energy King can only sustain me for so long. Like, holy shit. No wonder he was talking about anime while he was there and his wife was getting blown the fuck out. Oh my God. I can't believe he actually admitted to that. Going to hedonism and talk about anime with Energy King. Well, Energy King is like, Energy King's like, oh man, Nick, I need to last another few minutes while I'm inside your wife. Tell me a story about anime so I don't nut too quickly. And he's like, well, this is called Redo of Healer. This anime is actually so great that I got the uncensored DVD to show Drexel, my other mahogany god. Holy shit. That's just it. That's just it. Keep going, Nick. I'm going to be here all day. Holy shit.
It's not all like Cool Runnings.
Oh, I had one clip I decided that didn't make the cut tonight is when they talk about Nick's fighting experience. And he actually talked about how Drexel would wipe the floor with him. Like he's like, Nick wants to be black so fucking bad. He's so upset that he wasn't born black.
No.
The next best thing is to have a black man fuck his wife and he can like self-insert. The black man can also self-insert into him, which he also enjoys.
Everyone's like a Usain Bolt running around with like a triangle-shaped body and stuff like that. Most of them are just very, very normal people who don't make any money at all. So you go to this place and it's really weird because like when you first get there, you're naked and everybody's naked. You're like, holy shit. But then you look around and you go, oh my gosh, everybody is normal. Like you're not sitting there with a bunch of Chris Hemsworths, right? You're sitting there with a bunch of I don't even know who's a normal looking actor or actress. You're sitting there with your next door neighbor. Like it's a bunch of just normal people. And so it becomes unsexualized very quickly because you're not attracted to fucking anybody. And
the people you're sitting next to are like your next door neighbors in Nick's case because his next door neighbor was April, who was just fucking in the second house. So that actually does track. So this does make sense.
People are over 50.
Yeah, of course.
So,
I'm from Florida. All these nude resorts and stuff are just fucking elderly people.
Yeah. But here's the thing about hedonism. The reason I love it so much is because I have been there twice, and I stayed. The first time I stayed like 14 days, and the second time I stayed there 9 days. And
oh my God, what is that? Like 23 days? He needed 23 days of looking at naked Jamaican men. The greatest place. He would have been in hedonism the third time if he didn't lose his steam with this whole drug arrest thing. 14 days the first time. That doesn't make... Like, I would travel to, like, Europe maybe and spend 14 days there. Like, he spent 14 days on one island where all they can do is watch your wife get plowed and get high and talk about anime. 14 days. I'm trying to think, like... That's a long time for what, like, unless you're going to several different countries or something, that's like, holy shit. Like, he's on one island. The chocolatey men, you have to have 14 days and you go back for an additional 9. He went back for an additional 9 inches. That's for damn sure.
During the entire time, I have not heard a single person complain or raise their voice. Everybody was happy and content. And there's, like it's Jamaica, so marijuana is prescription based and your prescription costs $15 an ID. That's it. Like anybody can get a weed prescription at the resort for $15 and they sell mushroom chocolates legally at the resort.
That's so stupid, by the way. Like you can get drug prescriptions, like just sell the drugs. It doesn't have to be, I guess that's the Jamaican law, I suppose, but it's just so silly. It's like anybody can get a prescription. Then it's not really a prescription, is it? It's just buying drugs.
Prescription as well. And then there's a beach pharmacist to buy all the illegal drugs you want. You can buy anything except acid. He could never find acid, but that guy's awesome. But
here's my question. So you can get the regular drugs from the resort, the ones with prescriptions for everything you want, the magic mushrooms, the weed and everything like that. Okay. You can buy that with a prescription. Then there's the beach drug dealer. This is a nudist colony. Where on the nudist beach colony drug dealer are the drugs placed prior to them being bought by you? Are they allowed bum bags or like fanny packs, I guess Americans call them? In New Zealand, they don't call them fanny packs because fanny means vagina. I know it's backwards in New Zealand. That's the way it is. Like where, like, is he using his Jamaican pocket? Where does... Wait a second now. Where does the beach pharmacist keep his supply? Does he walk around and you can hear like when the beach pharmacist walks past you completely nude and he's holding nothing and you just hear, he's like, do you have drugs on you, man? And he's like, yeah, man, just give me a second. This is gum, by the way. It's close enough, right? Close enough. Holy shit. The implications of this is terrifying. And he went back for seconds.
Like, everybody there is sufficiently sauced, drugged up, whatever they want to be. Everybody's naked. Most people are having so much sex it's embarrassing.
What's this have to do with Aaron?
Most people are having so much sex is embarrassing. Not Nick though, but his wife. At least she was having enough sex for both of them.
Aaron, you're making me wait for this story. Let's go.
Yes, I gotta build it up. I gotta edge you a little bit. Come on. So I go there, but like prior to that, I had body image issues. So like I don't ever shame people with body image issues. I don't shame people. Like, guys grow up, and typically the most penis they see is like from pornography, right? So you're looking at the top 0.1% of dicks. So guys are often insecure. Like when I talk about Aaron's insecurity, about
Nick Rekieta and the top 1% of dicks report. Like, what do you mean? I'm glad we saved this clip for last. This one's actually hilarious. Like, holy shit. There's a lot of stuff to go through here. There's a lot of lulls to mine, I guess. Oh my god.
penis, like it's just normal male shit. Like unless you're some guy who's freakishly hung, or unless you're some guy who like has seen a ton of dicks in his life.
Like Nick, for example. He can rank you in the top 1%.
You know, you're just like, oh, this is kind of awkward. I don't really
What the fuck is this? Third World Aristocrat just released a video 3 minutes ago. I'm going to be like the first person to watch this. This video has 1 view. Holy shit. Wait a second. First. Fuck. Second. Shit. Pepsi Man beat me? What the fuck? Pepsi Man beat me by fucking 59 seconds? Shit. Well, I'm going to be the third person to like that video. Like, look at this. 1 view. 1 fucking view, and Pepsi Man beat me. Oh my fucking god. Well, we'll watch this video to end out the stream. Holy shit. Suffer meme second him. Oh well.
I know what to do. So I never presented Aaron's story as like a shame thing. I know it bothers him, which is funny to me because I always told him like this should not bother you. Like, look, your penis is a little smaller than other people's. It's okay. No one cares though. But anyway,
except for Nick, who cares a lot.
Penis is a little smaller than other people. It's fine.
Dude, you saw his reaction when he saw the average penis size was 5.1 to 5.5 inches.
No, I didn't, because I don't watch the toe every day like you do, Nick.
He's like, yes! Like, you know, he just squeezed into the top of the margin or the bottom of the margin. I don't know. Like, he's so excited. But he never told the story of a woman being excited about measuring his dick. Like, that's funny. Because if I told stories about people measuring my dick, I would talk about them being excited about it, right? Like, or I just wouldn't tell the story. But Aaron decided to respond to my very mild story, which is a response to other people's questions. I didn't go in there and tell that story. He decided to respond by saying, I think about his dick all the time. I was like, no, I don't.
Hey,
we're going to
listen, we're going to cover Aaron later. We're going to go over all his videos. You called him to tell a story. Tell the story.
I am.
You're not.
Do you know how to set up a story? Have you ever set up a story in your life?
I mean, just tell the story.
I am. Okay, here we go. So I just thought it was fair, since Aaron said that I think about his dick all the time, to talk about something April told me. Which again, like the gum eating story, I had nothing to do with this. I had no idea. And April told me because she found it very strange.
Good question.
One day she comes up to me and she goes, okay, last night was really weird. And
How did this tangent start? They were talking about Jamaican penises and how they were Jamaican him crazy. And they had to go back for seconds.
It happened to be a night that she and Aaron were back at their house. They were alone.
Oh no.
And they had engaged in marital relations. And again, these poly relationships are really weird if you're not like used to them, which I am not. This is not something I've ever done before. And it's kind of hard to do. Like, you have to change your mindset and go, okay, I'm gonna have sex with someone who's not my spouse. Like, it's very, very weird and very uncomfortable.
Yes, it is very fucking weird. So why did you do it?
And men have a physiology issue with this, right? Like, men have to have a physiological response to perform sexually. So you have to kind of get around.
Men have to have a physiological response. Can't you just look? Does he? I'm not the only one, right? That can just get hard with using my imagination. I guess my mind isn't broken. You need a physiological. You need to go for the Minnesota Twin Cities hand job. You need the blue chew. You need the chemical response as well. Is that what you're saying? Just use your fucking mind. Mind over matter, Nick. Come on now.
That, or else you're just walking around with a limp noodle, and that's no fun for anybody. So
He
Aaron
does need the
and
baller, that's
April
true.
We're getting together in the middle of all this. And
How much to get rid of this
it
coked up
might be-
asshole?
People literally paying Nick to stop yapping.
More. What more is the answer? So they were having their marital relations, and sometimes it could get hard to, even with your own partner, it could get hard to finish because things are different, things are weird, and they're outside of your comfort zone. But Aaron is sitting there with April, and he whispers to her, "Tell me what it was like to have Nick inside you. Did he stretch you out?"
So hold on.
I mean, Nick did ruin one woman's body, right? His words. Kayla's ruined, body destroyed by 5 kids. Just popping out of there. It's like a fucking emergency exit from an airplane, according to Nick.
It's a day off from Camp Polycule. They're at their house. They're deciding to fuck. And while Aaron's fucking April, he says, "Tell me what it was like when Nick was inside you."
Yes. And he asks her specifically, does it stretch?
Why does he want to hear about this? Because Aaron, Melton is edging right now. He's I don't know. He's a very weird boy. You can actually, if you go to Third World Aristocrats channel, there's a really interesting video that can tell you a bit more about Melton and what things that he's into. I think it's called, let's see, where is it? This one, Patrick Melton revealing the true monsters. This is a real sussy video. You should check that out if you want to learn more about Melton.
Stretch you out?
Does it stretch you out?
How deep does it go? Like, these are weird questions to me because I don't think about this shit ever.
Except you've been talking about it holy shit, he talks about this all the time.
But she said, yeah. And he instantly
Why the fuck are cat noises
instant
playing?
nut on demand. So Aaron is sitting there having sex with a beautiful blonde woman, and what he needed to do to finish was ask about another man's penis inside of her. And that is a 100% true story. And the best part about all these stories is I don't care about people's kinks. I'm a known degenerate. I'm a perfectly made degenerate. Aaron did that, which is fine. Like I guess it happened. But I don't live in shame of my choices or my actions. So like everybody knows about me. I'm not here to shame anybody in their lifestyle. Like you can go do what you want. It's not all for me. I don't understand most of it. But Aaron.
I mean, he's not here to shame anyone's lifestyle except when he's fat shaming his own children, which is kind of crazy. Oh, I forgot to put the ceiling cats back up. That's true. Good
Was
question.
having trouble finishing with his wife. So he asked her about a dick that was bigger than his inside of her. She told him, and he instantly came. And this was not a one-time story. It was an every-time story.
And April.
I mean, they're cuckolds. That makes sense. But the thing is, Nick, you're also a cuckold. Your wife was being fucked by this guy that you're making. Like, this is the thing is like every time he makes fun of Aaron, and Aaron should be made fun of. But this is the man that you let come inside your wife. So every single time he makes fun of Aaron, it's like Aaron is such a piece of shit, but he's good enough for my bitch. Holy shit! I guess he just doesn't really think about this at all, right?
Told you this?
Yes. Again, because she was weirded out by it. Like she's like, "What the hell? Like, what's going on? What is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. That's the weirdest shit I've ever heard." But I mean, I guess go him. He found his way. Some people use a pill or whatever. Other people just use a story about.
Nick knows this from experience because he had to get Aaron to get him a blue chew when he couldn't. He needed his physiological and chemical response, exactly as his words.
Penises are normal. I don't even think I don't think my dick is big. It was so weird to have him talk about him like that.
You know, the whole chat's turning on you now. They all hate you.
True.
They all think you're a cuck.
Good. I'm not like the cuckold fetish is one that enjoys watching your partner. Like I had to go through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we established that you need to have an emotional relationship with the person for it to be cuckoldry, and Nick doesn't give a shit about Kayla. So actually, this is actually factually true, I suppose. Nick can't be a cuck because he doesn't care what hobo goes inside his wife, on what random beach or what random Minnesota radio personality. It doesn't matter because he doesn't give a shit about her. That's why he'd rather be with April, the younger model.
To engage in this type of relationship that I was not prepared for. And one thing I never could do is that. Like, that's not my thing. Other people want to do it, whatever. I will never get it. I've talked about how if you are a cuck, I think your partner loses respect for you immediately.
And that's true. That's very true.
And I don't personally recommend it. Not my thing. People can say what they want about me. They've already said it. I used to worry about what people said about me, but the government took my kids. So I don't really give a shit what someone online says about my choices, good or bad. I know my mistakes and my regrets. I know why I did them. It doesn't matter why now. Like, I know the effects of them, and they're brutal. I'm suffering the effects of my own choices and the impacts that's had on me and my family. And no one knows the full story. And they don't need to. It's okay. But like, you can judge me all day. Like, I've judged myself more harshly than any of you will. And like, I've made amends to the people I've hurt.
I don't think so.
Over and over and over again. And I'll continue doing that for years and years to come. It's fine.
Is there any part of you that like genuinely you're like hurt? This was a friend of yours and you're hurt and there's a little bit of resentment now.
Absolutely. Of course, I'm like, it's not about being a friend. It's about the fact, and this is what he's scared of at trial. If I had to guess, the prosecutor is going to ask April, Kayla, and I about the terms of the relationship. And we were getting into the...
This is going to be court record. Well, the kids will never know about the relationship until they're ready, except it's going to be on court fucking records. Zadok says he's 2.5 hours behind. Hello. You know what? If you listen on 2.5 speed, you still won't. We're almost done, actually. Thank you for the 20. Much appreciated. You get that. We hit the goal of non-stop friendship, unlimited friendship, even though we already hit the previous goal, which is great too. Big support tonight, actually. Looks like I need to add another couple $100 to the chart of how much I've grifted, actually. Looks like, ooh, nice. Looks like I have to add a lot, actually.
Relationship. What Aaron and I came up with, we both said we're both public people, and the public revelation of any sort of alternative relationship or anything outside of a traditional marriage will be devastating to our professional lives.
Well, yeah, I think that's why he did it. I mean, that's why he did it. It's good for him.
And so, right. But at the time that we all were getting into this, we all said, all four of us said, that three of us are public people. Kayla has never wanted, like, she dipped her toes in the water of being like a public person participating on my show in 2022. The internet was really brutal, as it often is to women. And
it wasn't because Kayla was a woman that the internet was brutal to her. It's because she came on and started trying to shill CBD oil to an audience that really hated it. And you looked like a fucking hostage victim. That was a really bad episode. Holy shit. Do you guys remember that one? The Kayla talks about CBD oil episode? Oh my goodness. Oh, the internet's just mean to women, though. No, it's because she was insufferable. And you know she's insufferable because you would rather be with April.
She didn't really like it, so she backed off and she stopped being online. She stopped being involved with my show. She stopped being on locals. She stopped all of that. And so once that happened, she wants to be a private person. Aaron talks about like me.
This is a good question. I have no idea what Nick's trying to achieve with going on streams like this. Humiliation. He thinks and also friendship. Nick has no friends. His only friend Drexel refuses, and it's doubly sad for Nick because Drexel is also a chocolatey man. Won't talk to him. Nick is so down bad that he has to go onto Drexel's replies, right? Like, we showed this at the early part of the stream. Drexel refuses to talk to Nick. So Nick has been resorting to responding to Drexel talking about fat women. This is it. This is from yesterday. Drexel, sorry, y'all, smash or pass on BBW Greta. And Nick responds. Oh, actually, wait, where'd the response go? He says, you would appreciate them, but he doesn't respond. Even on pictures of fat women, he won't respond. So there's a two-part. He thinks that these people are friends, but they're only going to use him as long as they can make fun of Aaron. And as soon as he's dried up husk, they'll snake on him and make fun of him as well. But Nick thinks it's friendship because he only understands friendships that, when you pay someone to talk to them, that's a friendship for him. But he also is trying to get a W over Aaron, and maybe Aaron will pay attention to him. That's what he's trying to achieve.
Masterminding this legal case and shit. We don't want that. The last thing we wanted to do.
I too want to get rid of this coked up asshole.
Is that Geordie? Wings? I don't know.
The last thing we wanted to do is bring a case against Aaron because it brings all of this shit that we would prefer to have been private into the public light. But here we are, like this guy did this thing. So we're kind of stuck with that
We are
with
going
that
to need
result.
more
We
than
didn't
that,
wanna do
Nick.
that.
Tell us about the time the restraining order arrives while we were all hanging out.
We weren't hanging out. I had just left his house. Kayla and I had just left their house. We were 10 minutes away, and I got a panicked phone call from April. And she said, can you come back right now? We just got served these restraining orders. I can tell you all about the restraining orders. I can tell you how shitty his lawyer is. Aaron's lawyer, Cole, is a friend of his from high school.
He can't be as bad as Nick. No matter how bad Aaron's lawyers are, Nick is the master of being a bad lawyer.
He's
He's
an
good at
unethical
something.
pile of garbage, and he's probably given Aaron some of the worst advice ever. And Aaron pays his friend for legal advice like a giant piece of shit. What good is it being friends with a lawyer, the worst people on earth, if you're going to pay him to be friends?
What the fuck is it? Like, Aaron asks his friend for legal advice, and then he gives his friend money. He's like, well, look, I respect your profession. Here's some money. No, that's a good thing. Like, obviously, if you're a friend, you can say, like, no, I don't need the money. That's fine. Nick is so butthurt. You want to know why he's so butthurt? Is because Aaron didn't ask him for the advice. That's what he's really mad about. He's like, I was right here. Why did you leave my house to go back to your house to stream? Why are you paying your friend for legal advice? I'm a lawyer. Why don't you ask me? He's furious that nobody wants him. Oh my gosh.
Ew, gross.
Oh God, you got to start streaming and telling these stories.
Well, I'm going to start streaming, but I don't want to tell these stories on my channel.
Well, Nick said he would start streaming tomorrow on Camelot stream. So tomorrow you can expect a Nick. I mean, it's really happening. The streams are coming, guys. One stream in the last 6 months, by the way.
My channel isn't about this shit.
Start a new
But I'll
story.
tell them everywhere else.
Start a new channel then. You're missing out. People want to hear all this stuff.
They don't. Like my audience doesn't. My audience wants me to talk about legal cases and politics, and they don't really care
Trumps
about the
and
problem. Like a couple people do, obviously. There's always a percentage. But most people are just like, can you come back and talk
Hey,
about your
Nick,
takes
for
on
everybody
politics
on your
and talk
stream.
about how the state sucks? What?
Everyone's just picking on you. All right, look.
They'll pick on me all day. I don't care. Like,
Humiliation fetish confirmed.
again, the government took my kids. Like, you guys can't do shit to me.
Release the Kayla nudes already. It's almost my bedtime.
Release the Kayla nudes.
No. Oh man, I have so much to say. The one stream I may do that is in relation to Aaron is I may cover the revenge porn stuff because no one has done a good job of covering it legally. And like if anybody wants to, I'd probably be open to covering it in depth on their channel. If not, I'll do it on mine. But like, I really don't mean to take over your show. I might have to.
I know.
I might have to go somewhere.
I mean, you can pretty much just watch the Destiny coverage if you want to get up on the revenge porn statues and things like that. A lot of parallels. It is almost it is very strange how Destiny is responding almost exactly like Nick in their own way.
Really soon. So I wanted to make sure I was able to talk.
What do you mean you might have to go somewhere?
Tomorrow for real. Tomorrow for real.
Well,
big chunks.
my kids have.
I've never rooted
my
for an
daughter
OD
has
more in my
cancer.
life.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, go ahead.
Me either.
Daddy, no.
We're the same. No, my daughters have dance tonight on Monday night, so I gotta make sure that they're taking dance. Taylor's doing most of the driving, but
And now Melton's interested. This is probably why Melton actually keeps Nick around. What, your underage daughters have got dance lessons? Tell me more, Nick, actually. Why don't you stay on for longer? Absolute degenerate.
I've been sick, so like if she wasn't feeling well, I might have to do it. But otherwise, I'm here. So I just might have.
Like, Nick will literally ally with a map just so he can try and get a perceived W over Aaron. That's insane.
Go. I wanted to make sure I was able to come tell the story before any of that happened. But I'll say or get off whenever you want. Like I really don't mean to derail your show. I just wanted to.
No, I'm good.
You don't have to tell me twice.
No, come on. It's just a lot. And save some of this stuff for this little piggy. Because I want you to tell the other story about when you and April were in the bedroom and they were in the bath. I want to hear that story when they come. I want you to tell that one.
Oh my God, that's a great story.
Save it for this little piggy.
I will. Are you going to invite me on Friday? I should be available.
We'll see.
Oh, so sad.
It's Carl's this week.
Are you going to invite me on? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe if we run out of Aaron topics to talk about, we'll see.
So I don't know who he's...
Nick used to have 100,000 live subscribers, and now he's begging for a spot on the all-day Steel Toe show review.
What his plans are. We alternate.
Well, tell him if he wants to talk Aaron and he wants to invite me, that's fine. If not, that's okay. I'll wait for a different week.
It's okay. I can talk to you next time, I guess. If you don't go invite me on the show, it's okay. I have a pretty big YouTube channel. You guys don't want to... Yeah.
All right.
Also, one last thing, very quickly. Everybody, buy your tickets for Hagamania. if you haven't yet, I am almost assuredly going to be there Thursday and Friday.
So Nick might be going to Las Vegas if he can get permission to leave the state, because he needs the daddy government to make choices for him now.
I assuming I don't get thrown out by the court gave me, that'll be after my sentencing, but the court gave me good indications that they will have no problem with that. I am politely pushing both, I will be asking the court and I will be asking Kayla to give me an extra day in Vegas, either Wednesday or Saturday. I don't know because it's Mother's Day weekend. I might have to push a day early.
Look, it's Mother's Day weekend, so I'm begging my wife so I can get the fuck out of Minnesota, because, oh my goodness, spending time with my mother, parents, I don't want to spend Mother's Day with my family. I would have definitely come down and party with degenerates in Las Vegas. Oh my goodness. So first he has to ask mummy and daddy government, then he has to ask his actual wife. Please, daddy government, can I go see the fat pedophile? He's my friend. I promise I won't do drugs and alcohol while in Vegas. Okay. What a life he leads.
But if I am there early,
His
I will
adult
set up
card has actually unironically been removed, and now he's just downgraded to perpetual child.
a time for people to hang out with me and like
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
We'll talk about all this stuff whenever you want. I do not live in shame of my actions. Not everything
That's the problem. You should feel shame for these things because they were wrong to do.
can be said publicly online because it involves other people's stories, and I only say things that I've been given permission to say when it involves someone else. If it involves me, ask me whatever you want. I don't care. I'm an open book. But if it's Wednesday, I will announce
Look, Nick's an open book, like his wife's legs are open. Okay, that's how open he is.
it and set people up. I just won't know if I can do this until April. If I can stay through Saturday, I will
until April
and participate in as much of the show as Patrick will have me for. I want to try and give people enough opportunity to see me if they're not able to be there on Thursday and Friday. If they want to talk to me, I don't know why you would. I won't have any drugs to give you.
We'll set up a cucking booth.
In the past, I would have given you guys all drugs and we could have hung out.
So there's a slight mistake here. XMMM. Nick is allowed to drink now. He likely will be sentenced to a year's probation after his hearing, which I believe is in early May, just before this event. So he can drink now up until May, and then all likelihood is he won't be able to drink for a year or longer. So yes, he can drink now, but when he's in Vegas, he, in theory, will not be allowed to. Now, it's possible the courts will just say, yeah, we don't give a shit. Very unlikely, though. So that's the contention there. That's why.
Yeah, had a big fun time.
You are technically
but
correct,
now I can't do that
you're
anymore,
just not
which
seeing
is-
the
which is
future.
okay.
All right, Nick.
I'm
man.
sure you're going to almost assuredly going to be there, chum. Just like you're getting pea melt that cold cuts fridge.
Yeah, we can't take your word for anything. We've been waiting on this fridge forever.
Look,
This is why they're talking. Okay, we figured the real reason he's talking to them. He promised them a fridge. I promise I'll give you the fridge. Just like the one that they found the Coke on top of. Oh my
I know.
goodness.
So
Buying
I
friendship.
have
How
ADHD
pathetic.
and I forget shit. Like seriously, just spam text me and remind me.
You can,
Like,
you can remember to bring a toolbox full of drugs every time you leave your house, but you can't remember to mail me a fridge for 3 months?
Did you realize how that story got misrepresented? By the way,
I don't. We're gonna watch it later. Don't do this.
All right, that's enough of that. I can't take it anymore. All right, so Third World Aristocrat uploaded this video called "Drugs Are in the Safe, or Were They?" And this happened during the stream. It happened 25 minutes ago. Unfortunately, Pepsi Man got the first thing. I think what's going to happen here is what we actually found out on the stream is that Nick claims that the drugs are always with him and in a locked safe, but then the cops found the drugs, and there was also the cocaine bullet on top of the fridge that he wasn't in the safe. So this is only a minute. This will be a nice way to close out the stream. And then since we hit the goal, you get a tax-free. This is a long one, almost 4 hours. It's already 1:15 a.m. I got to go to bed soon.
One of the things we wouldn't do is drugs around the children. Yes, there were drugs in a safe in an ensuite bathroom behind a locked door, or two, as it were, if you will. And I can't think of any time where the kids were home where drugs were out and being used at all. Because I can say this now. I haven't been able to say any of this for 8 months because I had a legal defense that I needed to exhaust before speaking. I've told the court that the drugs were mine. They were in my possession, solely mine, in a locked safe. I'm the only one who had access to it. That's all true. I brought that safe with me when I left the house. I didn't leave it home. There wasn't an opportunity for like a kid to get into it. It's a little travel safe. It's like this big.
A few moments later.
Fred
No,
Robinson
but the
did
2 ounces from the top of the fridge did disappear. It's gone. They're running out of drug tests, the field tests. I got
out of field
pictures.
test is not a good thing when they're looking through your house.
That's the GIF I tried to include in my PowerPoint presentation. The GIF didn't work for some reason. Yeah, so I like that Third World Aristocrat and I came to the same conclusion at roughly the same time. That's kind of fun. That's kind of nice. A little bit of serendipitous conspiracy we have going on here. All right, guys. Thank you for the big support today. To put the the amount of money that I earned has to be updated by approximately this stream. I mean, I have to guess, but the super chats are about 300, and then we'll probably get about 300 in advertising. So we made about $600 in this stream. So if you add that together, then that's what the typical Nick stream at this size will be. So in aspect of transparency, just add $600 to that total, and we're about good. Thank you very much. Very generous chat. Much appreciated. I promise I won't grift next time. But since I feel like this, I had to do it once. Okay. There'll be some dinosaurs coming up soon, and probably a regular Friday stream tomorrow. And we probably won't see any Nick for another month or two. Maybe not until May when he's sentenced. And that's when all the real interesting stuff will come out. That's when season 2 starts. But you never know. He might go off the deep end. We never know. All right. Where's that tax-free? Tax-free. Lipstick Larry, right? I haven't heard this song in ages. I used to unironically listen to this all day, every day. It's such a banger. Such a banger.
Did you hear me? It is tax free.
All right, chat. It's tax free. Let's fucking go. Lipstick Larry, the goat. Everyone hit that button, like button.
I got it tax free. Tax free. Take out your pill bottles, shake your pills, because it's gonna be tax free, tax free, tax free. Tell your wickers that we got it. Tax free in my little tin shack. Cats flying in tornadoes. Gun flopping up and down. Let's get the guns out. Gun, 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 gun. Shake it around when it's tax free. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. It's a tip, so it's tax free. But wiggle. You best not fold the bullshit because these super chats, they all tax free. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yo, Faith, don't make me say it. Squeeze. Child support, Faith, it's tax free. Compass Sneed, cause it's tax free. That's right, bitch. Now kiss my Gucci hat. I said kiss it. It's authentic, bitch. It's time to gun out. Shake your gun like you mean it. Squeeze. Wiggle, wiggle. Welcome to the kill street. This song. Wiggle, wiggle. What you mean I'm drunk? I'm sober, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Maybe one more. So take out your pill bottles and shake your pills, and wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. It's a tip, so it's tax free. But wiggle.